What up, guys? This is Noob. We just want to hit you guys up real quick because we're not able to do this without you guys. So we want to ask everybody who listens to the pod to share it. Make sure you share it. We're on all streaming
Yes,
media.
even YouTube.
Subscribe.
Share it.
Yes,
Share it.
share it.
Subscribe. We're on
Subscribe.
YouTube.
Yes.
Keenan does almost all the YouTube. Actually, he does all the YouTube
He's
shit.
in
And all
charge of the
the
YouTube.
soapboxes
You
are
know,
done, so they're gonna get posted.
Yeah, fucking Philly. He's the one who records us. He's the one who posts us.
Yo.
You know, I'm just the fucking face.
It's a
but
beautiful face.
But
you
you're
know,
also
if you
on
guys-
social media.
I kiss it.
yeah, I do
kiss
a
it.
lot of the social media shit.
Yeah.
But if you guys love us, please make sure to share us.
Comment.
We just do it
everything.
ourselves.
Yes.
Leave us reviews if you
Yes,
actually know how
start
to
a
do
fight.
that.
We'll something.
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
If you guys love us, please share us.
For every
Uh,
new person you bring to the podcast, I will kiss you on the cheek.
And I'll suck it. I mean, I'll.
Oh, shit, no.
Oh, wait.
That was my line.
You know, cheeks neutral. You know, it's like
Which cheek are we talking about?
Yes.
the face cheek.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I was talking about the ass cheek. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, guys, if you love us, please leave reviews on Apple Podcasts or whatever that is.
Share.
Yes.
You know,
Subscribe.
follow us, subscribe
Instagram,
to
everything.
us.
Yes.
The more followers we have, the better it is for us, and the more content we'll be able to bring for you guys.
Mhm.
To you guys, I'm sorry. So please continue to share if you love what we're doing. Repost us, follow us.
We love you.
Review us. Yeah. Drop it.
Joe's a hoe and Joe's a hoe, and everybody know that Joe's a hoe.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Listen here.
Ooh, you did it
Are we
with the
doing a
deep
little
voice.
sound test? Look. One,
Hold
two,
on.
one.
He's
two,
already started
one, two.
recording, so
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I did.
yeah, so we
Yeah.
can do our sound test.
Fucking
That's why I did my
asshole.
Joe's a hoe song.
So lately we've been doing it kind of loud, and it takes extra work for me to like.
So you press
tone it down.
record.
But it's because every time we bring a guest on, like they don't project, you know.
No.
And I love my guests, but
Project on these nuts.
Yeah, you stupid ass guest. Start
Oh.
fucking working right. You
Right
stupid
before
asses.
guest giving, you're gonna call them stupid asses.
They know I love them.
We love you all,
Are we ready?
but I
Yo,
love you the
yo.
most.
me.
Si Puento. Oh, that's after he does it.
Hey, go
Welcome,
Keenan.
one. Welcome all to episode 48 of the None of Our Business podcast.
What?
We are your
What
hosts.
in the butt? Wait, what?
Phil,
Hey,
Philly Fanatic,
Yo,
P. Steezy,
yo,
Peasies.
Philanthropy, Philosophy,
beats that are hard,
Sane,
beats that are
Silent
funky.
Tempo,
Not everybody knows
P-Money,
about the silent tempo.
P. Steezy.
Easy.
We got Keenan, CNN, Dunkaroos,
Or as I like to call
C
him,
Notice,
Keenan.
C Section, C4.
There it is. Last one.
C Money.
See these nuts.
Oh, see these nuts.
Ah.
And I'm Joe.
With a magnifying glass. Wait, what?
These nuts.
But they're there and they're functional.
And I'm just your
These
average
nuts.
Joe, you know, just a regular guy. just
Average
doing regular
Joe,
things.
Joe
Joe's
Mama,
average.
Mojo.
Solo rhythms. I found your album.
Solo rhythm. That's almost as old as J2DX.
I found
Or Jizzo.
just one of your albums. What's the one where it said solo 4 times in different shades?
4 Shades.
Yeah.
Talking about
Solo
4
rhythm.
shades.
I have that and it's original rapper. I haven't taken it out.
Damn.
We're gonna take a photo of it. We'll put the None of Our Business podcast thing as a promo.
I think I did. I think I sent it to you guys.
You know what's
fucking
cool?
Yo, what they
guys.
gonna found?
You guys have enough photos on Facebook to be embarrassed, like with the None of Our Business.
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
Oh, I have
But
plenty.
I don't have any embarrassing photos.
Oh yeah,
dude.
go to
Oh,
Okay.
Shows
Joe's
face.
Like, is that a challenge?
He's like that guy. Really?
Yeah, that meme.
I don't know if you remember, Filthy, but you used to use my hard drive to store some things.
Oh no! Busted,
So-
literally.
I have
Joe has been keeping some dirt.
He used it too.
I have maybe like 20, 30 pictures
my
of
God.
you
Do
being
you
a
still
cool
have
guy.
your videos of when you would fart on each other?
Yeah,
from-
see, I
from,
told you.
Europe?
You thought I didn't remember. I seen the video where you fart in somebody's face while they're
I
sleeping.
still have them.
That's fucked up.
I'll pull them up.
When
I'll
you
pull
were in
them up.
Romania on tour?
Yeah, when I was on tour. Yeah.
Damn, see, I need to. I can't wait till we, as a new podcast, get to
still
do stuff like
have
that.
The video where you took
gonna
off the
talk right over me.
glasses and you know, did
I'm
you
just
ever see
fucking
that
with you.
one?
Huh?
Where it was I can't get you. Shout out to Sincere. And then you took off the glasses and you had a second pair of glasses on. Do you still have those?
What?
Or did we lose all those?
I think I still have
That's
them.
hilarious.
I think I do. I'll pull them up after the episode.
See,
What?
What we
Yeah.
haven't realized is there's
You were in San Francisco still. You
I
still
know I
living in
missed
this,
out on stuff.
you know what's
Fucking San
crazy is I
Francisco.
was
Fucking
there
college.
and I still missed out on purpose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's because Philly was a square.
Oh.
He would go to work and read books and not have sex. You know.
Hey,
No, I'm
that-
kidding. You
that's
did.
you
fine.
did.
You did.
I
You
have
did
sex.
one of those three.
He did have some sex. You know?
So, and honestly, it was Joe. Joe was really like, Phil, you should at the very fucking least get a girl, dude.
Damn it. See, it was totally
He was like,
different.
if
If
you're
I
not
had
gonna
you,
fuck around with us, at least get a girl, man.
if I
least
had
get
you
to
around
some-
me, it would have been a
some-
totally different game. Fuck.
You missed the
I was Philly without the rest of the crew.
you missed the prime, like right before
So I'm so deprived.
you-
right before most of us had children.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I was gone.
it was.
That's
was-
why I'm
it was a
doing
fucking
cocaine
movie.
now, shrooms,
Yeah,
bath salts.
right.
I'm doing
Listen,
it all.
Keenan, I wish you were doing.
Have you
cocaine.
guys done the Tide Pods yet? Is that a thing?
Tide Pods?
I think
is
that's
not-
gone away now. Yeah.
I don't know.
People still doing
Whoever
it.
fucking did Tide Pods was fucking idiot.
What a dumbass.
They're like, whoa, it's making me trip out. No, it's just killing you.
Yeah.
It's fucking killing you, you idiot. Cheers, Keenan.
Cheers.
yeah, yeah.
We have some not Maker's Mark.
This
what
is
it called?
Makers. Yeah,
It
this
is Makers.
Makers 46.
Mm-hmm. Please sponsor us. We're giving you a free shout out right
It's a
now.
nice little Kentucky bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You
is that
know.
courtesy of our
No,
most
no, no,
recent
no, no,
guest?
no, not JB. He's
It was
he's
bourbon
sober.
out there, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but he's
Right,
sober,
doesn't
so
mean
he
you can't
wouldn't.
give
It wouldn't
away
be a good.
gifts.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a good gift for him
that's
to give.
true.
You know?
That should doesn't
Yeah.
go with the values. Right?
JB, what up?
Wow.
Shout outs.
That's
oh, that's ooh.
He said,
That's a hit.
Wow. He said it like
The
like
fire.
like Owen Wilson.
Like, oh.
Wow.
Wow.
And I got you a lemon square.
Fuck lemon squares.
Oh fuck you, man! It's a nice home baked lemon square cake.
Who made it?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh,
Was it your mama?
Somebody.
Oh fuck! Wait, no.
Oh well, then I don't care.
But it.
He
Oh.
only wants it if your mama made it.
Okay, my mom did
Wow.
make it.
Hey,
Hey, Let's leave the mothers out of this.
She can make some other
He
things
knows
too.
I love his mom.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
he knows
I
love
used to
color.
tease Joe a lot about doing my mom back in the day,
Whoa.
I would never.
and I
do
did
that.
it right in front of my mom, and she blushed and was like, "Oh, stop! Joe's so silly."
And then she would look at me like, "Ah."
She was like, stop.
She was done with the old buck. She wanted the young bull. Like, dun, dun, dun.
It's hilarious because I know it's not. I mean- Okay, for real. Let's say that actually did happen.
It wouldn't happen ever.
I know,
I
I
wouldn't
know.
even think about it.
But there's people in this country who friends slept with their stepmom or real mom or dad or whatever, and it's like
that's true, man.
if we're really homies
right
to the end,
to the end,
and let's just say by some crazy weird miracle of some point that it did happen, would or would I be okay with it? And if I was at an age of like maybe under
Stifler's
25,
mom type of
if
shit?
I was under 25, maybe I'd be like, oh, come on, Joe. But after being over 30, 25, and especially now over 30, I could care less.
At this point,
Yeah.
you're like,
Like,
just
I'm,
adults.
and I'm being 100% for real. If it happened today, in this time period, at my age right now, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be like, ew, or oh, come on, mom, he's my friend, or come on, Joe, she's like,
he's my best friend.
for me to have the mentality of,
I come up into the spot like in Baby Boy.
but I don't
Yeah.
own my mom and I don't own you, and so for you two to do it,
Yeah.
me saying no, you cannot, or you're not allowed, is me using some sort of morality clause to justify
It's like
controlling your
Marvin Gaye.
lives.
If the love is true, I guess. But if it's just, well, you know what? Actually, I see.
Well,
what
you
you're
can
saying. I see
only
what
bang
you're
her, you
saying.
can't marry her.
Right,
obviously
Yeah.
not, because then I'd be your daddy.
I know that would be fucking weird.
No, but you know, I have that same mentality, even regarding like people I used to date,
Uh-huh.
because I would have friends ask me, like maybe they started seeing
Oh
someone I
yeah, if
used
they
to
could
date
date.
or
Yeah, yeah.
someone I used to have relations with, and they'd approach me and be like, "Yo, I've been kind of kicking it with such and such," or
Is that a cool
we've been.
courtesy? They should do
I
that.
mean, it's cool,
Mhm.
but it's not necessary.
You don't have to. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
who the fuck am I? Like,
Right.
especially if it's someone I dated like ages ago,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, not necessarily ages ago, but
Shout out to
just
your
someone
homegirl. I'm
who
calling
someone
you
who
out
I
right now.
had dated.
Yeah.
Let's definitely not put any timelines
Yeah,
on this.
no,
Yeah.
no, definitely not. But no, but you're in your fucking right. Like, especially like if I already have a child with someone else, and
Yeah, like you have all the, like
like
what? Why?
why would you even care if I cared? Like,
Yeah.
no, you have your own life to live. They have their own life to live, and they're in their own fucking right to date someone or
Mhm.
fuck someone or do
Mhm.
whatever they're fucking gonna do
Right.
with anybody else.
I do
Like,
think it says something about a person's character, though, if they approach you and they're like,
absolutely.
"Hey,"
No, I agree.
Right?
But I guess I'm unconventional because I really don't care. Like, I wouldn't.
Inconceivable.
It wouldn't hurt me. It
Mhm.
wouldn't affect me. I wouldn't feel any type of way towards that person or my friend, because
So-
they're in their right to do
So
so.
let's talk about this, because the idea, there are these psychology ideas of what's called adult attachment, and for a long time I was really the type of person that had like the most detached personality, but it was also because I was totally shutting down.
What do you
the-
mean adult attached? Like you're
So-
clingy?
Yeah, so the adult attachment. Sorry, I feel like I'm fucking
Are you peeking?
No, like
no,
it's too low.
super low.
Put your mouth to the microphone,
I
man.
know, maybe that.
Yeah.
Test.
As you tell our
test.
other guests.
Wow,
Super
there
high.
you go.
That's
Yeah.
super high though. We're picking up super high
There
on
you
you.
go. Good. You
Yeah,
guys-
that's-
okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I can hear you.
So lately I've noticed that my volume, since you told me that time,
Yeah.
I somehow end up on the channels that are low. So okay, coming back to before I
Okay.
lose everybody.
Yeah.
So
You will
there-
never lose me, Phil.
might lose
there's
me.
a few things I've been looking at, right? And there in psychology there's this whole field called attachment theory.
Mhm.
And it relates to the way people have relationships and how most marriage counselors have to, this is like really where it started, have to deal with the different attachment styles that people have. So for example, some people who grew up in a healthy home where they had the model examples and like their key, let's say their dad or their mom, whoever was their strongest emotional attachment, even when they were gone, they were gone for work and they know they'd come back. So they got to develop a sense of like being able to know that even though someone isn't around them,
Mhm.
they're coming back,
Mm.
right? So that's a healthy home. And then they grow up to be healthy individuals who have what's called a secure attachment style, right? Then there is the
Okay.
people, then there are the people who grew up in a home where the key emotional figure had left, and in a style where the key emotional figure also made it known that you don't really matter, like your emotions don't matter, like stop crying, or you know what I mean, like all that stuff, right? And what that creates,
So that's all they're left with when the person leaves. Like,
right? So they're like that, and so there's two strategies, two coping mechanisms, and this is where the tree splits for this style, right?
Okay.
There's anxious and avoidant. Avoidant means when the key emotional figure leaves, they're like, oh my god, okay, I want them around, where they're like flipping out, right? They're worried, nervous, and all that shit. But then when the key emotional figure comes back, the person they want the love from, they pretend like they're like, oh, whatever, and they still make a tantrum, and they're like, but I'm here, right? And you're like, wow, I don't understand what's going on with you, kid. And then there's like a really unhealthy relationship that creates what's called the avoidant,
Mm.
right? And then there's the other one that's the anxious attached, and that's when the person's gone. That could be like orphans, a bunch of other people.
Mhm.
They're kind of like, wow, they really left me. And now when they come back, they feel great again, so long as the parent stays with them everywhere they go. The minute they leave, they get anxious all over again, right?
Mm.
And that is like something I didn't realize I had buried deep for me. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys know my background. I mean, I got tossed around as a kid anywhere that anyone would take me,
Mhm.
Right.
right? But through the high school years, living with you guys, you, Danny, and everybody, I was able to sort of develop this ego defense, where I then sort of put on a faux avoidant personality for years, until actually like just last year, maybe it started falling apart because it was hurting my relationships. But I had the avoidant attachment style because all of these turn into cognitive biases where we seek partners or people that we're interested in who will sort of prove our theories right. People who are detached will find people go, see, there's always somebody trying to get something from you. They're all attached and fucking, you just prove that point, right? Then there's the anxious avoidant. They're like, see, someone's always out to hurt you, like no matter how much you love them, this and this and that. And so all I'm saying is, coming back to this, how is it that you guys have been able to develop a situation where now that you're older, you feel like, well, like if you want to do like people that you used to be with or people who are important to you,
Okay.
you're pretty detached about it now at this point, or secure.
So I was wondering where is this going to relate back to why I don't care if Joe bangs my mom or not.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't forget.
Okay,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
So what was it for
Well,
you?
I've
that
always
made you be
had
like,
that mentality.
Because you said before 25.
Yeah,
well,
but you
that's the
said-
thing. So
exactly.
when I was about, I would say around 20, maybe even before 21, I would say even in high school, I encouraged my mom to
To bang people.
younger dudes too, because I've always known through.
Joe is like that meme where the excuse me,
'Cause I-
with all the calculations, Zach Galifianakis.
What happened was because I'm a very understanding person when something's explained out, or if I see something throughout interviews or reports or society functions or whatnot. So at a certain moment in high school, I've known that as women get older, it's difficult for them to have more sex with their husbands, or if they're single,
It was just logic.
get
for
out
you.
and or even have sex with younger dudes. So, and while all these older guys are banging young chicks everywhere. So knowing that as my mom gets older, she may or may not have difficulty finding a guy, which thank God to my mom, she's never had difficulty finding a dude,
Oh,
even
she
at
wouldn't.
this age.
No,
Huh?
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Your
what?
mom's a lovely woman,
What?
man.
Yeah,
I've only
okay.
met her like a couple times, but yeah.
Oh, hey, what?
Huh?
Best
Joe's
friends,
like, oh,
best
she
friends.
wouldn't. She wouldn't at all.
She wouldn't have an issue.
Actually, kid you not, there's a
She's
photo.
a darling, man.
There's a
Like,
photo where she had the same haircut as Halle Berry in the 90s.
Yeah.
I kid you not, they look kind of related, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Halle Berry, Halle
But that's when
Berry.
she did the
Halle
same haircut.
Barry.
Uh,
Hallelujah.
But yeah, at a young age, I've always had that understanding and knowledge that older women.
When I was a young warthog.
Anyway, I'm just gonna gloss over that. But I don't know what was the key trigger that caused me to understand that, but I've just always been an understanding person of like, hey, it's unfair.
Well, that was it. That was it.
The fairness. I
You
always
saw the
wanted fairness.
information, yeah, and you were
Yeah.
right. So it sounds like you have a pretty secure attachment style.
Yeah.
You I mean,
Wait, attachment style or
yeah, so
unattachment style?
meaning in a relationship, generally speaking, you're pretty calm about shit. I mean, unless something's like clearly wrong.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. You
You're kinda
guys
just like,
know
alright.
I fake flirt with the girls that you're with, and we have a fun, good time because you both know I'm never even gonna get close to even a handshake. But I still
Well, you
do
can
that.
totally have a handshake, bro.
I know.
You
I understand,
get a
but-
hug, you a little pat in the butt.
But I
He's
go,
like,
I go,
"What, really?
I go. I know. I was like, hey,
That'll keep me going for a couple months during these dry
hey,
spells.
hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo.
But as you know, my verbal vocalization amongst your girlfriends and baby mamas and stuff, to even my other friends as well, is very like not aggressive, but over the norm, you know. And then I do that to show that I have no problem for if people want to reciprocate that with mine, you know.
You're totally a swinger, just waiting to happen.
I
bro.
think, yeah, but I think it's a like for me. I don't care. But
It's verbal.
Uh,
My thing is verbal. If it's physical, then I have a problem.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like if
Mm.
like okay, see, because that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna bring up. But
Yeah.
it sounded like you had a point
no,
too.
no, I didn't.
So most girls like to dance, right? And
Mhm.
some of them
Right.
take dance classes.
Yeah.
Right. So whether it's salsa or some sexy ass hip hop or modern dance, at some point a dance partner, regardless of their sexual persuasion, is going to be rubbing and humping and all that shit. Do you have any conversations about what boundaries are, or are you kind of just like, yeah, whatever?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care.
See, you don't care at all.
No, and we've all witnessed it too at the club on your birthday. Some dude was grinding up
2
on,
years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like,
but
I
all
was-
it was so funny. Everybody around him was like,
Oh, that was
"Joe."
like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. They were like trying to fight and shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, chill. the
yeah.
fuck
And I was
out.
like, I want to be like Joe.
Anyone should have a problem.
It
It's
should be,
me,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
absolutely don't have a problem with it.
and I'm pretty sure she loved you for that. Most girls would probably be like, you know, unless they're doing it to get a rouse out of their man. I don't know. But
You never know.
as long as
but-
it's acknowledged for me, if it's acknowledged that the girl or the girl that I'm with isn't clueless, that's what guys do. Because when I hear a long time ago,
yeah, it's social
where
cues.
it's like,
social
there's
cues.
nothing wrong, we're just dancing. It's like, come on, be real. Just be honest and understand that you know that guy has the hugest heart on, because we can all see it, and is like trying to get an easy feel. If you lay it out that it's understandable and not clueless, then I'm 100% okay. Dude can, actually put his dick out and slap it on the thigh. As long as I know.
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't. That'd be a different conversation.
I was like, wait a minute.
But like a little sexy dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not tripping on a little.
It's not
bump and
fine.
Grind,
I just don't want to be clueless about it. Don't pretend like I don't know what's not going on.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100% agree. For me, it's all social cues, right? So like, if she's not, and this is just me, like if she doesn't turn around and she's just like letting me know that like we all know what's happening, like hey,
Yeah.
then if she's just out there, whatever, and
and I'll be respectful.
and
too.
she's not like controlling the situation, like and to some degree where it looks like she's the one in control, as opposed to the guy's just fucking like
He's like jumped on his
flipping
I know.
her and
yeah,
shit.
you know what I mean?
Legs
like,
on his
fucking-
whole shoulders. Like, what the fuck?
spinning her on her fingertip. Like
it's the
like a
equivalent. It's the
basketball.
equivalent of if you're gonna go out and stay out late, letting me know, hey, I'm here. Hey, still here, but I'm about to like start preparing to whatever. Just like keeping the conversation going, as opposed to, hey, I won't be coming home tonight, and I'm gonna be getting pretty drunk, and so I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every female that I've dated understands what my position was with
What your
as-
boundaries
They
are.
don't
with
even
as
have to
far as
ask,
like
yeah.
like I've never been that dude. I've never been a jealous dude.
Mm,
Uh
until I came along.
wait, no, let me make sure. Let me sift through my data.
You're like, have I
banks,
ever
making
actually?
sure that I've never been a jealous dude.
Not jealous, but there was a moment where some dude, I remember you telling me the story, copped a feeling your girl at the place where we saw
this
on
was
an
years
on
ago.
an
Yeah,
Gucci,
this
yeah.
was- yeah.
And then you literally pushed him up against the wall and was like, don't be touching my girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was ready to fight that.
Yeah.
And that's a different story though, because
because you
obviously
saw he
there's-
was grab ass.
Yeah, but there's no there was
Like she didn't
like,
invite a dance. or
yeah,
anything,
there wasn't.
right?
It
Okay,
wasn't.
yeah.
We weren't dancing
Right,
or anything.
right.
We were passing by a situation. Somebody copped the feel, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck are
Oh,
you doing?"
okay, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm right here, dude. What's up?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to do?
Yeah.
Like, and the dude and his friend were like, "Oh, my bad. Oh, didn't know.
Like my ass, right?
Didn't
Yeah.
know.
I'm like, motherfucker, you just saw me right
Do you
here.
want to
Like,
touch someone's ass? You can touch mine. Wait, what?
yeah,
I
that
mean,
got-
what?
that got pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a different story. Like, that's blatantly being disrespectful. Like, as
Yeah.
opposed to just a dance.
But what I
Right.
get as far as like, as you jokingly said, swapping or swinger stuff, I don't think I can go that far. I'm still very close, intimate. Let's have this a one-on-one thing.
Right.
Then like everybody,
You would
let's
never
share.
be like wife swapping. and
Only
shit,
if I
yeah.
didn't know the person. Like if I just met my person, or something like that. It has to be like on a dating thing. It can't be boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything further than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I'm still very one. It sounds kind of selfish and greedy, but it's still like she's mine, I'm hers. It's not just she's mine
Right,
only,
right,
I'm
right,
hers
right,
too.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm.
Again, there's different styles of relationship. Isn't that fascinating though? Like how different the thing can be. Like some people really do have such liberal boundaries.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like as
and
long
it's
as
very
you can-
strict.
But you know what sucks in our
Yeah,
society
very
though
strict, yeah.
is that one person may have very liberal boundaries,
Mhm.
And the
but
other,
the other
yeah.
person might not.
Mhm.
And
so,
those, but that's clearly like a relationship that needs to be reconsidered.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily all the time, but
Right.
like it might take effect towards one person or the other. It's just up to the person who's a little more lenient with the
Mhm.
boundaries to be like, yo, can I actually live with this?
Yeah.
Do I actually have to,
See, okay,
worry
so
about
when I
shit,
hear
or-
that language, right?
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is like when I hear that, I can hear the detached style in you. Not that it's a bad thing, but I can hear how your perspective is sharply about like this person is like really on me, man. Like, can I live with the fact that they need a lot of reassurance, right?
Yeah.
And I used to be like that, and then I suddenly switched to where now it's like because a lot of things in life affect that. All of a sudden, like I'm in the middle of like a transition career wise and things like that, right? So it affects the way you interact with people, and in particular people that you care about, and when you may start to misconstrue your values. So it sounds like for you, which comes back to what we talked about before, right?
Mhm.
You know you're dope or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's why you're not worried,
Yeah.
right?
And I'm a shriveled little
Yeah.
boy in the corner.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Because that's really where the anxiousness
probably
comes
it.
from. It's when you suddenly forget what kind of value you bring to the table because suddenly you feel like this person might find value somewhere else,
Mhm.
or you put too much attention on the things that are valuable about them that you love about them, and you forget that like, hey, you're fucking tight too. Like you're intelligent, you make money, or like. So it's important. Some people get so caught up in a relationship that they end up forgetting who the fuck they are.
To being dope.
To being dope. Cheers. Well, I've got coffee, but you guys
It
have
works.
bourbon.
dope as fuck.
Bourbon and coffee, does that mix?
Absolutely, it does.
Really?
Was it an
You want a
Irish
little
thing?
drop of
Really?
that?
No. You know I don't drink.
So let me ask you two some. Would you dance up on other girls at a club?
Well, I don't go clubbing, but when you mean,
Let's
like
just say
people
the
who are in a
scenario.
relationship?
In this scenario, yeah, we already did the reverse for the girl dancing and with the guy's reaction. So as you're in a club and you're dancing with another girl, would you dance
I'll
with
let
another
Joe
girl?
answer first.
Even let's say it's not, it just happens. So some girl is dancing and dances up on you, and you go with it. Do you stay? Do you stop? Do you push away while your girl, is seeing this go down?
Say, okay, you have to respect their boundaries as well.
Okay,
I'm not about to just blatantly dance with a female in front of a girl that I'm dating,
right,
knowing that she does not like that.
right,
Because you still have to respect their boundaries.
right.
So if they don't like it, I'm not going to be the dude in front of my girl like,
Yeah.
pop that shit in front of me, bop, bop,
Yeah,
bop, bop,
yeah.
bop.
Yeah,
When the girl I'm dating is like right behind me, like mad as fuck.
but if
No,
she does
that's-
know,
But if she's cool with it, if she's
Yeah.
like, she's slapping the girl's ass too, and I'm like, bop, 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 then it's not an issue.
yeah.
But yeah, you have to respect the boundaries of the person you're dating.
Okay.
Obviously.
So
Yeah.
that means when that moment did happen in that club, she knew that you obviously didn't care.
Yeah,
So
I
when
wasn't
that dude
tripping.
rolled up, it was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how quick she knew or thought, like, ooh, I wonder if Joe is okay with this. Because it seemed like to just happen.
Yeah. Well, again,
Mm-hmm.
I've
Been with
I
her for a
think
long
I've
time.
been well, no,
Yeah.
but I think I've been the type of individual to be like, yo, I'm not tripping
Right,
about
right.
any of this shit.
Right.
Like, I think in general, like
Mhm.
with like pretty much all the females I've dated, they've known that I don't really have a fit. Well, I have boundaries, but they're very loose boundaries.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not tripping if you want to go dance with somebody, or
Mhm.
I'm not tripping, like shit. Like, if you want to have a male friend
Yeah.
and you want to go have lunch or dinner or whatever with that male friend, I'm
Yeah.
not tripping. See, and my mentality behind that is I should have the confidence or the trust of whoever I'm dating to be able to, for them to be able to do that shit and me not really trip about it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is because if something does happen, then that's just
You're not affected as
reason,
much. Yeah.
but it's reason for me to be like, well, fuck it. Didn't, they prefer doing that
right.
than fucking with me, then I'm cool with
Okay.
it. Fuck it. Because then
Ah.
that's just getting rid of excess weight,
Right.
Like I don't have to deal with it.
Right. Okay.
So if it does happen, I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It happened. I'll be sad about it.
Yeah.
But you showed me that you can't handle just dancing or having dinner with a
That's
person or
right,
anything,
right.
Because the same night, I also backed it up in front of Jill's girl, and she pushed my head into like the couch and everything.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
at the time, yeah.
So
yeah.
He's
like-
like, so I was just trying to figure out what the position was on that the whole time.
Again, I'm not tripping.
Well, she took control, so I
It's funny
like,
you bring that
It's
up
because
though,
he's a
because
little-
because we went to Port Vu a while ago when Melissa was in town.
I was supposed to say, did you go without me?
no. When Melissa was in town, then we went to Port Vu. It was
That's right.
birthday.
It was
Melissa's
Melissa's birthday.
and
Okay.
DJ was hot, but I couldn't. I got too intimidated by the guy, so
Right.
I couldn't dance. I wanted to, but I just I felt weird.
Oh, when the old dude from
Yeah.
Soul Train moves
And
came
then-
out.
Yeah, because nobody else is there. It's like now everybody's gonna look at me, just do like a little, just like a little,
Little jig.
I know. I was like,
I had taken my girl with me to the birthday party, and all that, and we all
Mhm.
went to the club together,
Mhm.
Port Vu or whatever, the lounge.
yeah,
And while I was dancing, there was a dude there who had a girl, and she was pretty sauced up. But like my girl wasn't in the mood, so she kind of just sat down.
I
don't
know.
It was
At
kind
the
of weird.
bar, I was
Right?
like, what the hell?
And what was weird is this other girl that saw me like dancing started coming into like the energy. And see, look, this is what always gets me because it's not that I expect other people to have the same standards or reactions that I do, but I would hope that once you see the kind of things that I'm doing, that you keep that in mind, right? Because this is how I always move. The minute I started noticing that, I was like, I would literally turn my body to a 45 to 90-degree angle to let her know, like, I don't care.
It didn't, yeah, it
girl.
didn't, from my view, it didn't seem like you guys ever came
But
close
she
to dancing.
kept coming at me, and her guy started staring at me. And then when I turned around, it looked like
That
it
I
only
saw.
made my girl more upset, right? And so I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And I couldn't shake this girl. Eventually, thankfully, Soul Train dude stepped up and
Yeah,
started doing
and
some
took
badass
over
moves
some
too
shit. Yeah.
and stole some of my shine. So then I just got to be like, cool. You know,
Cool.
eventually, because she wouldn't stop, I went outside to the back.
I remember.
And then her and her dude also followed, like, I guess they needed air too or something. And I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is though, I do that every time with any conversation I have with people. Like anytime I sense somebody flirting with me, or I always make it super clear, if not explicitly state, hey, is this, you know, like I try to be that way. Sometimes I don't feel like that kind of thing is always reciprocated amongst people, like on the other side of it, you know? I know it's nice to get attention. And again, I'm not expect, but I'm like pretty harsh about specifically how I let people know, like, nah, you know? And it's just weird to me that I've yet to meet somebody who made it. Like I had bad experiences when I had I was like 18. I had a girl. Literally at like a week after we got together, we stopped by Chase Bank to get some money for her, and this guy walks up in the middle of Chase Bank. He's like, "Damn, girl!" Like he's like holds like picks up her hand. He's like, "I wanted to know," like in front of me,
Sorry,
right?
Yeah.
And
let me interject real fast. Was it Chase or was it Washington Mutual?
Washington Mutual.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right, back in the day, yeah. And like picked up her
Wamu.
fingers and like started talking, and she was sitting there and indulging that shit, right? And I mean, granted, we were 18 or whatever,
Yeah.
but in my head,
It's like that's fucked
that
up.
kind of shit happened consistently, and it's never left me that, like, it's left trust issues in me because I happen to think I'm pretty fucking cool, and I happen to be pretty chill and lenient. But when I see shit like that, like I guess it's like you said, that says more about the person than it does about
Exactly.
you.
Right, because
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
other girls that would like move their hand right away,
Right.
Or be
which
like,
is-
"Hey, what are you
which would
doing?"
be the right thing to do. Because I don't want to be the
Yeah.
guy. It's like, hey, bro, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially I can't do that when the girl is sitting there indulging that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that different strokes for different folks.
But you
I
know
guess.
what? You guys are talking about something that I guess I've overlooked, and that's that I can't control what other people do, and if they do shit like that,
You have to.
I
Hope.
have to
Yeah,
know
or-
that
yeah.
that's clearly someone I shouldn't be with.
Right.
I'm not. See,
Or-
that's the thing, though. I'm not saying that's not someone you should be with. I'm saying like if you guys haven't established those boundaries, or say for example that
Isn't that implied though?
no,
Some people
No.
haven't matured enough yet, Philly. You know
no,
that.
but it's not only that. It's not only that. It's the fact that maybe in the beginning of a relationship, you guys haven't established what your relationship is. Like, you know, it could be left up to whatever, you know.
Definitely, it's all happened to me when we've explicitly said
We're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then in that moment, after that happens,
I guess there's levels to boyfriend and girlfriend.
honestly,
Or you're
there
saying
are.
there should be a conversation at
Yeah,
some
but
point.
you know, maybe after that situation, you would have been like, "Yo, you know, just for future reference."
And then it wouldn't happen
I'm
again.
not really
Yeah.
Right.
kinda
Well, yeah, that's
feeling-
stuff.
Yeah.
That's stuff that I do now that
Yeah.
I didn't do when I was
Yeah,
younger.
Yeah,
so
okay,
like
okay.
future reference, you know, those kind of situations kind of make me uncomfortable. So, like, if it's really you and me, then
Right.
you know,
You need to
you
let
f-
me know.
openly flirting with somebody else while I'm in front of you is kind of like weird.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Joe
I don't
is
really like that shit.
exactly right. And I did that. I did that with my ex because she didn't know if I was a jealous person or not. And I kind of had to prove to her and myself that I wasn't that kind of guy. And I literally asked a dude to dance with her. Now this was a special case. We're at a salsa club and there's great salsa dancers, and she admired how great their moves was. So when she admired this guy's moves, it was like, you should go say something.
Yeah,
She didn't want to do it. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And that's how I brought them together. And then later express those same things. Like, you know, I am a little bit jealous at times, but I'm cool. I can be cool with it under certain
yeah.
circumstances.
As
And
long
that's
as
where we had the
it's talked
conversation.
about,
You
right.
just
Yeah.
establish what those parameters
Right.
are.
And that's so
Right.
crazy because for me, and maybe this is just the way I'm operating, and clearly I didn't even realize it. I go over and above and beyond almost on everything I do, and that includes like the minute I establish something where it's like exclusive with someone, I generally do my best to like make that shit as clear as possible to people in general. You know what I mean? And it's not always, like you said, reciprocated, but I guess that's because those are my standards and not the standards of the other person.
Yeah.
I mean, at the
Yeah.
end, that's what it is. And so
Mhm.
that's why I'm constantly surprised. And I'm like, fuck, like
But
this
again,
is a conversation we have to have.
that of course, because not
No.
everybody has the same
Mm-hmm.
Rigid adherence to whatever the
adherence
fuck.
to
right?
whatever it is.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really on you to establish those parameters. Honestly, it really is.
Which has taught me that one of the most important things to do when dating someone is to create
Communication.
opportunities where I'm not saying manipulate, but like have opportunities where you allow yourself to learn about how what a person's boundaries are, what their values are, instead of like just talk. Because
Are you talking about testing it out or observing?
so my challenge has always been that when I was single or whenever I am, I generally tend to pursue full on focused on the pursuit instead of in the learning of the person. Like learning that all comes once I get into a relationship. But that's been my flaw, I think, in my approach to people, is because I start to basically be part of both parts of the relationship.
Are you saying you don't get to know the person that well
So
or something?
my ability to converse, I believe, has been developed so well that I can ask specific questions, get to specific places, have specific things happen that would lead to then us being able to sleep together, and then from without any real transmission of a slow building of understanding of boundaries or anything, right? And then eventually it could lead to this sort of little high, right? And I've realized that's been a big flaw, because usually what you want to know about people is like, so like, who do you like to hang out with? Like, who are your friends? You know what I mean?
places
What
to-
was your life
places to
like
eat.
to
Yeah.
begin with? You know,
Yeah.
all things that would shape someone's character and reactions in anger and in love.
So you bypass all that.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Oh, so you're a slut.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
was.
He was, yeah.
But until I've seen the error of my ways and seen how that can bite you in the fucking ass.
See, let me tell you something, Keelan.
A pig's
I
love
generalize.
is different from a square's love.
I know I generalize. I'm just fucking with him.
Listen,
Joe's gonna.
I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but
okay.
Philly
Oh, he's more than a slut.
Philly used to be okay.
Go,
Now,
wait,
we
what
don't
are you
do
gonna
this
say?
often. We don't do
Okay.
this often. But
Okay.
Uh-oh.
let me
Okay.
just tell you a little story.
Pandora's box doesn't go back in the box once you open
Let
the
me tell you a
box.
little story here.
What happened to Philly?
Now,
Philly's
this was
Pandora's
years
box.
ago. Okay,
That's the
this
name
was
of this episode.
this was years ago.
Okay, so don't take this into account.
God.
Anybody who's listening or myself,
to. I
Keenan.
have
I'm
to- I have
afraid
to
of
do
what
this.
story this could be.
Okay.
There's a
But-
couple of stories.
So
I wish Joe
you
had
know-
one for me.
Okay, here. Well, listen.
Okay.
So remember last week
Well, shit, that's not that long ago.
when we had my Uncle Mark on.
Yeah, the great
Okay.
Uncle Mark. He's my
Mark
uncle
Brown.
now.
Hey, he
Yeah.
is your uncle now. Bah, bah, bah. By the way, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
But
Shout
Ooh, I
out.
got to put that in my calendar.
yeah, you better put it in your calendar.
Okay,
Mark.
we'll
You better
talk.
make
We'll
the
talk.
flyer
Okay.
so
Yeah.
we can put it out.
But anyway, so when last week when my Uncle Mark was on the episode, I think you presented the question. Maybe, yeah, it might have
Probably.
been.
I had a lot.
Where you
of stuff going on.
said-
I was like really focused on it.
Have you ever been caught
Mhm.
doing something
Yes. You shouldn't have been doing.
sexual?
Yes, I am.
Oh
Whether it was
my
masturbation or
God.
Yes,
in
yes,
the
it was.
situation.
That was my question.
Philly said no.
Ooh, but that was a lie? Philly, why are you lying on the podcast?
It was for me. It was. I thought we were talking specifically.
what
about
had
masturbation,
happened was
about masturbation.
Or about parents, or
yeah, but
catching you in the
being caught having sex, that's happened to me.
Now he's open about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's this little story I want to tell you about.
Ooh, does,
Are we talking about Ardmore and 11?
Ardmore and 11?
my
He remembers it
God.
well.
This involves you too, Joe? Ooh, Joe's a
It involves
witness.
a couple of friends.
Oh,
you know.
Well,
what you
some
got?
people.
It was a full house.
Was it
Okay,
by
so-
accident though? Because if they were
Yeah.
listening, that's messed up.
No. It
Or
was,
encouraging. I
they
don't
were
know.
wondering
No,
where
no,
the
no,
fuck I was.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay, here it goes.
So
Do you know the full story? Of
Tell
So-
it.
okay.
Go
Wait,
ahead,
no,
go ahead.
wait,
No,
ha-
we're gonna let
Let's
Phil
start
tell
off
it.
with Joe and then end it with Philly.
No. He has to tell it. It's better for him to
Oh,
tell.
Really?
It. Yeah, it's actually
Because
better
you
for
were on the
him.
other side of the door.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
So this was. Oh man, what year? 2011?
No
No.
way. Hell no.
Far
It was
more
like
than
2007, 2008.
Yeah, 2008, because it was like shortly after,
I,
or late 2007, because I
Was
was
it?
already out of high school, like fresh out.
oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And because I graduated
Yeah.
2007. So my boy, I don't want to give any names.
Don't give
No,
me.
yeah.
So my boy,
Frankie.
at the time, right, my best friend.
That was his name. No, I'm kidding.
Shout out to my best friend in high school.
Yeah.
We picked up his girl that he was like seeing at the time, and
You
her
did his
friend.
girl? Okay.
and we all went to the beach, and we were like at one of those
It's a long
one of those lifeguard towers.
Yeah.
And eventually, his girl wanted to go home, so we took her home.
Oh, I thought you did in the lifeguard tower.
But during that time, I had been buttering up,
Finessing.
yeah,
Okay.
finessing the friend, right?
yeah.
But then she ended up staying to hang out with us, and we were gonna go back to the crib. And
Mhm.
so, but we had been drinking. It might have been Jack Daniels straight out of like a bottle,
Yeah.
which is why I don't drink anymore. And so what happened was, he drove totally sober, and then we downed the rest of the bottle in the car. While we were talking about going in and just hanging out, we just had to, reassure and
Mhm.
create a safe space for hanging out, sort of getting the details out there. And it was going to be a thing. But I had called the crib to see who was at the crib so I could make all the details and arrangements. And it turned out that there was already people at the crib hanging out. And one of the people at the crib that was hanging out, besides all the regulars, Joe and other people,
Yeah.
I found out that a girl I had been fucking around with was also there. And while in the time that my best friend was getting out of the car to open the door for the girl that was with us, I had somehow run up all the way up the block into the apartment.
You somehow.
Like I ran fast because when he tells the story, he doesn't
Yeah.
know where the fuck I went.
Yeah.
And apparently, because I had like blacked out drunk
Oh,
on the
okay.
run
Okay.
up. I blacked out drunk.
Okay.
So I had a Harry Potter closet room
He
in those
did.
days.
His room
And
is under the
I
stairs.
never got more laid in my life than when I had that fucking room.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you some stories. Oh shit!
That
you guys,
was,
you guys
you know,
hear it
that
in the
was-
voice. You know that shit is real.
Trust me. That,
Okay.
that was a great place.
Damn, you remember? Oh man, so
Continue,
so many
continue. Yeah.
stories. Wow, they're all coming back to me now. Ever thought about? I put this behind me.
It's like leaving dairy. You forget about it
Yeah,
until
dude.
you come back.
Oh, they all.
That's an it
float.
rip. They all float.
So I guess what happened was
You're veiny right now. You're
because
just
this
like-
shit has me hyped.
Because you know it's real.
So what happened was apparently because this is where I had already blacked out.
Blacked out, ran up to go inside the house.
Everybody was looking for me, and apparently I had done it in a fashion where nobody knew where I really was.
Right.
So they decided to look in my Harry Potter closet because that could be the only because the other girl was missing too.
Right.
And they just sort of opened the door to see what was going on. And boom, the first thing they see is me going balls deep in this girl.
A Philly butthole right
and my,
there.
My,
just like,
my pink eye, just fucking my little butthole,
Bow, bow,
just
bow.
out in the open.
Oh my God. So this was missionary style.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. With leg spread and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
God
yeah.
Red
damn.
Philly was
And-
going to town on the
And
girl.
everyone opened the door to see if I was in there.
So was it a slow open or it must
Oh
have been-
no, it was just an open.
Wow. And you couldn't hear them, so you kept
Going
going.
to
I
town.
was
He's
drunk.
blacked
and
out.
old girl was like, I
And
guess,
she was cool with it too?
yeah, she just wanted to get it, dude. And so what happened
God
was though,
dang.
apparently though, is I was so drunk
Yeah.
that somewhere in the middle of that, I just fell asleep, like in her.
On top of her. Like,
Yeah.
God
And
damn.
apparently she was like okay with it and like stroking me, but that's for like a whole. other
Wow.
I don't know if she like if somehow no, there's no way I've lost touch with all those people, but you never know. They could create accounts and follow you.
Yeah,
whatever,
of
but
course.
That's
It was
trippy.
definitely like when
So-
I look back on it, that was
That
weird
was the
that she
time
let
when
that
you saw
happen.
his butthole.
Yeah.
I thought
So
you
I-
saw it like
So
him
I guess
getting
I
out of
got
the shower.
caught. So I guess I got caught.
No,
Yeah.
because you weren't trying to hide it.
No, yeah,
Yeah. You
I
I
only,
wasn't
mean, but he
hiding
was
a
in the
damn
private.
only if you were trying to hide it, which I was. That's getting caught. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Dude, if I
Fuck
could
you.
tell you, if those walls could talk,
Yeah.
man.
They would
There was a
They-
time that this was the MySpace era.
They should get
still.
checked.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Blue light and everything.
Dude, this was the MySpace era. One time,
MySpace era. Damn.
like I've had zero success on any of the new apps, right?
Mhm.
But in the MySpace days, I connect. Well, this is like back when people were using all the sites,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Dude, it was the greatest time of ever. I connected with this girl and didn't even know her. Called her on the phone once.
Mm-hmm.
She loved my voice so much, so she just decided to meet up. I ditched school, and I tell Joe, I'm like, "Hey, Joe, I'm gonna bring somebody over." And he's like, "Cool, I'll just post up in the room then." man."
Yeah,
The house
I
is
remember
yours.
that.
Right?
Yeah.
So I bring her over. This
So she
bad
was down to
Filipino-
come back to your house just
Yeah.
from meeting on.
Yeah, from
one
one
month.
phone call, from meeting on MySpace.
Damn, you're good.
And
It was a different time.
it was a different feel,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a different feel too. Absolutely, I can agree
Damn.
with that.
dude. And like this bad little Filipino mommy, you know what I mean? And she like bought me food instead. You know, I was like,
Oh,
what?
shit.
You know what I mean? She came back to the crib. She was dressed in all white and it was clean, so you know it was clean. So
Mhm.
I was giving her the rubs, and and I was like, hey, do you want to take a shower? She was like, yeah. And I was like, hey. And okay, now I feel like I'm just gloating, but suffice it to say that that was what Philip used to be like.
That was- yeah, that
up
was
until a certain
actually-
point. Because I remember another moment where you took a shower with someone.
Wait, what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you even?
No, but this
try-
was like 6 years ago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Oh
something
no,
like that.
7.
Was
Right?
it?
Yeah. Way back.
Way back.
But
'Cause I
it's
wasn't
a
back
fun
in- I was
fact
just
that
back
Yeah, in it was
my
like-
favorite thing to do is to do it while taking hot showers. Is that anybody else's favorite thing?
I tried, but I couldn't get it because I would always go down first, and I would always get pulled away. And I was like,
Ah.
God dang it! Like I'm trying to suck you off, and then we can have sex. But like you don't, and we don't even have to have sex. Just let me do something.
Yeah, you just want to be nasty.
Listen,
with it.
guys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
Joe's gonna
drop
kick
some
some
nuts.
game. Let me reach into my bag of tricks.
Hey, boo
Look,
boo.
I haven't had shower sex in like 10 years.
Oh,
so I
shit.
wouldn't be able to tell you. So,
Damn. It's
Oh,
my
man.
favorite. So it's one of your favorite things too.
I mean, it was wonderful. It was. It
Dude,
used
is
to
that
be,
the
you
best
know?
thing?
For
Shower-
me, it starts
mm.
off, with a little bit like, let me scrub your back kind of shit. And then I get a look at that ass and I'm like, all right, turn her around. And I'm like, damn, mommy. And then, just gotta
Can
push
you
her
n-
up against the wall. you
God
know?
damn. I don't think I ever
Look,
not
Keenan's
not
getting
have
a
a hard
chubby
on.
over here. Like, God
You wanna
damn
table
it.
this
He's
over
like,
with?
just went from 6 to midnight.
Wait, what about baths? You prefer have you done it? You
I've
like
never
you
done
know
it in a bath.
Hey, Keenan wins one. Yay.
Nice.
I've
I've never
it
done it in a
bath.
bath or a pool.
Haven't done
And Joe's like, I'll plead the fifth.
it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So yeah, that was a
yeah.
different feel.
Okay.
A different feel. Should that be
Yeah,
the name of
that
the
was a
episode?
different
feel. I like that.
Yes, I like
that.
that.
Different
Good
film.
job. I like that. Fuck with that one.
Are you okay with people having that crazy wild past and not being involved in something similar to that anymore?
That's what blows my
Because
mind.
because I like that. Oh, sorry.
No.
just
Go
wanna
ahead.
say,
Go
like,
ahead.
That's when I was told the wild and crazy stuff my girl would be doing. I'm like, yeah, let's
You're
do
like,
some of that.
Let's
like
do
what?
that together.
But then it's like, no, I grew up. I'm older. I don't do that stuff anymore. It's like, well, fuck.
oh, that's like
Like,
that
what the-
comedian Felipe
Yeah.
Esparza said, no, I'm not like that no more. You're special.
Yeah.
I'm not special.
special.
I'm last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, I know I can't be upset about that, but then it's like, I wonder if that's an excuse as to why some people date younger because they start doing all the wild stuff when they're younger and not when they're older.
It's all about being able to release the freak, man.
Mm.
It's foreplay, number one for sure. Always enough for it. Doesn't always have to include going down. So you never know what people like. You know what I mean? Sometimes people just want a hand on the ass. Some people want to be bitten around their neck. Like
Well, if any ladies out there prefer to go down, then just call me up.
kid is like, "Okay, here's my number. I'm ready to eat pussy.
You know what?
That's gonna be the name of this episode.
I'm ready to eat pussy.
I'm ready to eat pussy. Featuring Keenan Duncan.
I'm a very
I like the other
giving
one.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
I am absolutely giving.
Yeah.
I've given this
Yeah.
And
speech-
receiving
I'm-
anally.
Wait, what?
Because
I
you
mean,
like
a
it in the
pig can
ass.
never hurt.
What? Oh, That's right.
Pinky never hurt.
That's
Come
right.
on,
You,
guys.
you used to say the
Wait,
thumb, bro.
a thumb?
A
thumb doesn't
gotta be
even
a
hurt.
middle finger. And
Honestly,
get, like,
a thumb
longer.
doesn't hurt either. You know, a thumb
That
doesn't
is
What
hurt.
about
no
both? Can you do both?
access zone for Phil.
Man, then you're not living. You know.
you said you have an orgasm.
Wait,
until
were you
you've been
were
hit
you
in your
against
G-spot.
it? You had to be against. Were you against it for a long time, and then it like accidentally popped in? You're like, oh, I kind of like it.
I never
Or was
thought
it,
about it.
So then how did
I couldn't be against it.
So
but I
someone
just
freaky
never-
brought out the freak in you.
they tried it, and you're like, oh, this is okay. Like you didn't like deny them when
Joe
you
was like,
because their hand had to. I mean, did their hand slowly
I was
caress?
like,
and then,
oh, dude, in a scary movie when you finally nuts, and it's like,
Oh, it shoots up.
it's all skinny and shit, down to the bones. It's been a while.
sorry, I don't usually
Yeah.
do this.
Dude, no.
Because they say that's the
way.
thing most guys should experience, but a lot of guys don't want. So like, it must have been like you're obviously already in it, and then it just accidentally slipped or something like.
That's a conversation you got to have, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing just falls into the ass.
Well, it didn't seem like you had a conversation. It seems like it just happened in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's almost like, well, then I don't know. I mean,
I'm like,
does that?
hey.
Does it? Yeah.
Dude,
all
being
for it,
human
man.
is too
Yeah.
funny, dude. It's too
great.
funny.
Mm.
It's too funny to
It's
be
great.
human,
It's a
dude.
great feeling.
Yeah.
He said, feels
Well,
like
see,
the
it came.
first
I came
time."
close to it, but nothing went in. It was more like they were jerking me
Fondled
off
it.
in the front while they were dry humping me in the back.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They gave you a reach around.
Yeah.
Who was he?
Frank. It was Frank.
Bah, 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 bah.
Dry humping.
But
you.
then it was like, see, for you, I mean, I guess you know the person for a while, so there was no confusion after actually enjoying it. But for me, I was
Nope. It was
exactly.
one of those back in the
timeline on
day,
this. There's no timeline on
wild
this.
and sexy,
But,
crazy
but see,
days.
for me, I was questionably labeled. It's like, no, I mean, you're one thing, nothing went in, but second, you were still handling the front,
right.
and you have
He
to
was
have
like,
known.
as long as you're stroking me off.
I'll do anybody, but it's like, you know that you know that I'm into women. So if I do something experimental, it shouldn't be questioned why I'm like,
He's like, I was just
oh.
seeing what it was like.
Nah,
That's-
but-
which is
yeah.
true. Which is true.
See,
Yeah.
Joe's about it too. He's like, yo, try everything.
Mhm.
yeah. It's,
but yeah, you shouldn't be
Like,
labeled
I don't
once you
think
try it.
I don't think I could do orgies. I've had a threesome once in my life, but I don't think I could do orgies.
You think you
a
could do an
threesome,
orgy?
not a train, a threesome.
Oh, but let's say like an orgy, like 6-7 people. Like there's like a room full of people. That's a real orgy.
like one of those orgies they talk about in like Burning Man, where like everybody's all close together.
Yeah, that's
and
like
it's just
10, 15 people in a tent.
I can't do it, man.
Because a
It's
nut might rest on your forehead by accident.
I don't know. For me, it's like just don't make eye contact.
But see, if you watch porn, it just the only thing is it's a real person instead of a digital man in front of you. So
That's
technically,
true.
you've always been in an orgy or three-way.
That's
They just don't respond to you when you look at them,
That's true.
unless it's VR. Then I don't
Keenan's
know.
dropping that
No,
knowledge.
yeah.
that porn knowledge.
He's like that one dude, aliens with the hair.
porn.
Oh, we should do that. I'll crop my face and just say, well, what's the meme is, the answer is
Yeah, the
porn.
answer
The
Yeah.
answer is porn.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. I guess you never know until you're in the power. It's like anything
shit,
else.
ask your Uncle
You got to
Mark.
be in the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's like anything else. You got to be in the right company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be surrounded by weirdos
Or complete strangers. I think I could do it if it's complete strangers, not people
because you'll
I
never
knew.
see each other again.
Exactly.
Well, there's such a thing as like Eskimo brothers. That yeah.
There really are.
But that's knowing, but not being there at the
There have
time.
been a few
so,
times that there was a goal in life to do things like that. But,
Yeah.
But I can't even take credit for the threesome I had. That shit was thrust upon me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Thrust.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant either. Just circumstances worked out in that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, man, for me, I was like, fuck, this is a lot of work.
Mm. It is. I had a conversation earlier about a three with somebody just randomly in a park, and it was about
Kids just having a conversation randomly in a park about threesomes.
sexual conversations and randomly in a park.
Yeah, just talking.
They're like, you want to
What's
come
his
see,
name?
Sometimes it can be.
someone I met on Craigslist?
They didn't want to go back to my house, so they just wanted to meet at a park.
Men seeking men.
Has that worked? Craigslist stuff?
Casual
I heard
encounters.
it's super sketchy.
Dude,
And then you might get tricked into like paying for something, like because people would use it as a service of prostitution. It was just like, you know,
I would neither confirm nor deny
Deny?
those allegations.
yeah.
I wouldn't know, so I've never.
I mean, I've never done it. But
I've never talked to anybody off Craigslist.
Nah.
I've never been that low.
Have you
like-
bought something off Craigslist? You've bought something off Craigslist.
Bought?
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bought
yeah.
stuff off Craigslist. Damn,
What?
that was a good trip down memory lane. Filthy.
I know. For a second there, I started thinking about how many people.
Ardmore was different.
God damn it! I wasn't anywhere. I was reading
When I think about
books
it,
and shit in college.
that's crazy. No wonder. Like since from the age of 14 up until 18, 19 maybe. No, 18 because by 19 I started relaxing. I fucking lived like a 30-year-old, dude.
Mm.
Like people in their mid 20s.
Hmm.
And all because those were the people I was living with.
Right. It shows a different stuff because the people I was living with weren't doing a lot of stuff. I mean, we go to school, we do stuff at the dorm. Some people did some frat boy stuff.
Like you didn't smoke weed until just fairly recent,
Jesus,
right?
till like last year,
Right.
Mm.
Now I
and didn't
remember-
drink till I was 23.
But do you remember when your friends in school, like in high school, let's say, were like, we're gonna go smoke weed?
Nope. Hung
No?
out with my friends were me, myself, and I,
Oh,
and
man.
occasionally Joe.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So Joe, do you remember when you guys first started like in high school? You're like, let's go smoke some weed.
That was in junior
Oh,
high.
okay, so
Dude.
so around my high school days, my friends were still doing that. They were like, oh, let's walk down here and find a cut and like smoke a blunt, right?
Mm.
But what I never admitted to was that right after this, when I would go home, I was about to link up and drink ungodly amounts of Cavassier, Crown Royal,
which- oh, yeah,
Hypnotic,
yeah.
Hypnotic
Alizé,
Alizé.
taking bong rips and fucking like, and I was like 14, 15, like
Jesus.
there was girls all over there. like,
See, that kind of happened to me, but minus a lot of the girls. There was tons of weed, drugs, and all that stuff in college, but not a lot of girls hanging out. They mostly had boyfriend and girlfriends.
Mm,
That's who I was normally around, was couples.
right.
Wasn't a lot of single people.
Well,
Even in the dorms, my roommate had a girlfriend.
I mean, when I look back on it,
Mm.
I don't miss any of those people that I had all that shit with, you know. So
I had a few that I still talk to. I still
when I
did.
think about it, man, that's crazy that I turned out the way I did, where I'm so fucking square and prude. But like,
Even after all the debauchery.
yeah, like I
I mean,
totally got into some shit.
I think I might have been the same way.
Joe just like the intimate times, man, out of sight.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Because we kind of did some things when I came back to visit from college. When I went to the Sharon, and
Yeah,
hung
you
out
would
with
kick it
them
a
and
little
stuff
bit
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and man, those were some good times too on
Mhm.
stage.
I brought my parents there once. My dad
Yeah.
came through. Saw me try and play the
Wow.
drums once. Attempted.
with Mike D.
Mhm.
Shout outs
I used to
back in the
Never
Disney.
mind.
But did
back,
you
okay,
go-
back in the Disney.
Disney.
Like,
Diz-
way
back-
back. back in the time.
Before any of my relationships. I-
Disclaimer.
Like, I don't know if you remember, but I used to have like a girl who had like a group of girls.
Yeah,
that would
no,
go
I
everywhere with
remember,
her.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool.
She was Mother Hen, bro.
Yeah,
Mother
she
hen.
was.
She was
They
the
were all-
madam.
They were all pretty banging.
Yeah. So wait, did you?
And
did-
I always found my own girlies though, huh?
Yeah, you
that's-
did.
Isn't that
You already-
crazy?
oh yeah,
I never
Yeah.
took the ones
The ones that were in the
Shut-
batch, you know.
that's where Keenan came in.
Yeah,
Because when they would come over, I'd be reading a dictionary.
you're like, I'm only on B's right now. You know, just started.
like Schmidt. I'm like fucking Schmidt from New Girls. dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Did you
man.
travel to other places? Did you go like what I do? I go to like Santa Monica, Long Beach,
one beer
North
bounce.
Cal. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you travel around all of LA,
Yeah.
not just mid city, downtown. No, you would go to like
I've seen
Huntington
Joe. I've
Beach
seen
and
Joe
stuff
like
like that.
way back in the day do crazy shit where like we'd
Costa
go buy some
Mesa.
beers from the liquor store and
Yeah.
then he'd park extra complicated just to show how badass he was in a Camaro. He'd like backwards drive into a like backwards parallel park into a spot just to be like, "What's up? We're here in a
What up?
Camaro and shit." Like, and the girls are all like, "Oh my
Ooh,
god!"
this.
And meanwhile, I'm in the back like, Okay.
Did you ever take trips up to like a kissing point or something like that?
No.
In LA?
Uh-uh.
Are there any stuff like that?
The
or is
crib
that...
was the kissing.
Oh, it
point.
was?
It
Oh,
was
shit.
literally called the G spot.
You think we're playing? No,
It really
It
was.
was called
And
the
there
G
was
spot.
there was a community jar of condoms
Are you
that
serious?
were openly displayed.
Yeah.
Jesus, you guys lived a life like your uncle
You know what?
without the
Yeah, I
crazy
don't know.
celebrity shit.
Yeah, it was like
Damn.
It was there were crazy times.
He
crazy
runs in the
times.
family.
That's what I
doesn't
grew up in. That was my coming of age.
And-
That shows
And
you how
he-
we all
and
turned
he
out.
turned out all right.
Yeah.
You know, he turned out all right.
Both of you did. Both of you turned out
it
good.
takes a special kind.
Yeah.
Some people never grow out of that.
But see,
shit.
that proves to, I guess, society as we grow up in different scenarios and spots, you don't have to live a life like I did to come out, okay or pristine or normal like
Mhm.
that. You
No.
can still go through the
Yeah.
wild and crazy shit and still be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
people suppress, their kids and their stuff, and other people don't do this, don't do that.
That, like, makes it worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It
Yeah.
does. It does. That's why
we
that-
actually had that benefit. We really were like, even during the times where there was any supervision at all, it was really like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just don't fucking die.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just
But it's-
don't do anything that
don't
now I have
die.
to come in.
Don't get anyone pregnant.
Yeah.
And you'll be good.
But it shows that you don't have to live up to that societal standard of like be closed-minded and don't do
No.
all of that crazy stuff, or else you're going to turn out to be a bad person.
Smoking the devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
I ain't
or
tripping.
banging a lot of people, or
Right.
drugs and stuff like that. Like
So
you're
it's just like,
yeah.
"Ah."
Yeah.
That was a
can't talk
tired
about
old
that.
man sigh.
Well, I kind of feel like at some point you should. I feel like you should, because I didn't do it, and now I'm starting to do that now. Like those time periods, I should have been told to do that instead of the opposite.
It's like I'm 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you've got to get some of that, man.
But I feel like that's
Yeah,
it. I feel like it sucks that because being told, don't do this, don't do that. You avoid all the potential learning experiences and fun stuff and whatnot because you're expecting that person to turn out to be some prime good example of society if they don't go the path that you two took, which is not true. I mean, you're proving that to be not true.
Yeah, it isn't.
And so am I.
I think I got lucky in the sense that even though it was all good and it was all crazy, they thrust upon me a personal sense of responsibility. They're like, just don't be a liability.
Mm.
Like if
Yeah.
you want to hang with us,
Mhm.
hang with us and know your limits.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I can tell you right now, when Filthy first moved back from Texas,
yeah.
Mhm.
the first time that I had him with me, he went through a spell. Like
Yeah.
he really went through a. He went through.
Well, I
a,
had sick anger issues. At
yeah,
that age.
yeah. Because I brought him in. He was like 14.
Yeah. Oh, at the
Yeah,
pride.
yeah. I brought him because I was already in my debauchery. I was already just like,
Yeah. This is the
living
place
my best
at the
life.
right across the street from the park, right? On the second story.
negative.
Nah,
Oh,
this
no,
is
no,
like
no. This is
when Joe was
way
in the
back.
studio,
Yeah.
okay.
recording
Yeah.
studio, the whole situation.
Okay.
So we brought him. I brought him. I said, yeah, come kick it with me.
I
we'll-
remember.
I kind of wanted to show him what my world was at the time.
Right.
Because I really didn't want to do anything else, and I wasn't about to like cater to him.
Right.
He was like,
So-
all right, little man.
All right, he's like, yeah, you want to come chill. We'll hang out. And,
Put some hair on your chest.
but I got him drunk, and like Philly's bad side came out. Like
Oh.
his all his
That
repressed
not
anger.
a lot of
and-
people have seen.
I've never seen your
yeah,
bad side.
yeah. Like super repressed anger, and just
Yeah.
he went through a thing that night, and then that night I was like, "Yo, this right here, this whatever you have happening to you right now,
Mhm.
this has to go.
Oh,
This has to
okay.
go.
Okay.
Like all your repressed anger and you being angry at yourself, you're telling yourself that you're no good
Uh-huh.
and nobody loves you and all this.
yeah.
I was like, put that shit
It was bad.
way to the side.
Oh.
I
That's
think I
gone.
still
Wow.
remember. I vaguely remember like punching the floor. and all
Yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of shit.
He was
What?
he was going through something, and
Shit.
I was
angry,
like,
man.
nah,
I was a
dude.
hurt kid,
Mm-mm.
man.
Wow.
I was
I was
like,
a
this
hurt
is not
kid.
gonna work. This
Damn.
is not gonna
just
work.
Don't kill
If
my
you-
vibe.
If you
Shit.
want to be part of this situation, this
Yeah.
right here, this situation that you have internally
Yeah.
has to go away. This
Damn.
is not going to be. This is not going to work for me.
Right.
So if you want to be part of my life and in this world, this is not going to work. You have
You're
to.
part
And
of
like,
his
that
life.
shit
and
out.
gradually, and gradually, I
Hey, man.
worked on it.
I'm my own main character. You know,
Main character shit. Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
You guys too. You I'm a side character in your
Yeah,
quest.
this is so cool.
But it's true, man. It's like, this is so cool, guys.
But yeah, but you know, I was like, yo, you got to get rid of that. I didn't heal him, but I cast a spell on him that would allow him to slowly get
Was
rid
it
of
as
that.
a removal spell.
It was
It's
a removal spell that lasted less than 10 years.
So Joe was like, "This is gonna take all my MP, but I'm gonna use it."
This might take me out.
I'm so wild how big of a nerds you guys are and get so many girls in your life. It's ridiculous. Makes no sense.
This is my final sacrificial spell, Philip.
He
I'm
drew-
imparting
he
it on
drew-
you.
He drew a
Oh,
circle on the floor.
Yeah.
Glue
Alchemy.
I fucking cast
Basically,
it,
dude.
and I still survived.
Yeah.
Where's the scar that shows the remembrance of?
It's on my dick.
Oh, man. But yeah, I vaguely remember those times, and then slowly but surely, like I gradually overcame.
Yeah, I mean, Phil.
I remember the day all my anger left me.
I was thinking your dick was like a tree with tree rings and every.
Officially, the day where I was finally able to fully let go, I think Joe had already started preparing for like his tour or something like that.
Ooh, okay.
And I was about to just start high school, and I was left at home with Danny
Okay.
and your brother, and we had just gotten like really high, and he just wanted to
fine.
play video
That's fine.
games, but I wasn't really in the mood. So he was like, I don't know, man. He just didn't want me around because if I was just gonna, he's like, all right, well, he's like, I have these books, man. You just take a look at them. And one was The Four Agreements, and the other was
okay.
How to Win Friends and Influence
That's
People.
what helped you? Ooh, that's a good book.
So I was like 14,
Yeah.
just about to start high school, and I read The Four Agreements, and I was really high, and I was just like, oh shit. I got to the page. I've brought this up many times. Where it's not even the Four Agreements that helped me. It was a passage that said, if you're the voice inside your head, who is the person listening? But for whatever reason, at the time when I heard that, as high as I was and everything that had been happening up to that point with my anger issues, I realized the truth that I was clearly overjudging myself for all kinds of shit that wasn't even my fault.
Yeah.
And that I couldn't control. So I just needed to let go.
I need to send you a clip of that statement, that saying that you just said. There's a visual sort of representation of that done by KRS-One when he was doing a speech, and he did a speech in front of everybody. And he told everybody about your inner being, your inner self. And he was like, everybody, we're gonna do an experiment. We're all gonna say the word rock star, but you're not gonna move your lips. You're not gonna say it out loud. You're gonna voice it. Nothing. Just say the word rock star. And he had counted to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then it was all silent. But when you're listening to this, you're doing it to yourself. You're saying the word rock star, and you can hear it. And he's going, you said something and you heard it, but nothing came out of your mouth. There was no vibration of the airwaves.
Right.
So where is that vibration? Where is it coming from? Who is saying that, and who is hearing it? Because you can only hear outside of your brain, of your mind, but you heard it. And then even furthermore, he's like, if you close your eyes, you can even see it. What is and who is that thing that can see and hear without anything physical happening? It was trippy.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that video.
It's yourself.
It's the
Your
true
inner
self.
being,
Yeah.
your fifth eye, whatever, your
Third eye.
third eye, whatever. What's
What's
the
fifth?
fifth?
Because
What's the
we're
fifth
four
eye?
eyes.
I wasn't thinking that.
Bunch of glasses,
Yeah.
bastards.
But yeah, it was so trippy to hear that, to see that, because
It's a real thing,
I know the
man.
book and I know what you're talking about, but when they actually see it and hear it, and they're like, and I go, in my
He
head,
does a
rock
great
star, and I
job of
was like,
explaining
what
that,
the?
yeah.
I saved it. I say it's like a 30-minute clip. It's not
Yeah.
that long, but he goes over that mentality of listening to that person that is yourself.
It's easy
Whatever
to
you want to
forget
call it,
right?
whatever you want to call
It's
it.
so easy to forget it when you get caught up in like day-to-day life. Something bad happens at work,
Mhm.
or something happens between you and your loved ones, your significant other, someone in your family in general, or a friend does something, and like it's easy to forget that a lot of that shit is just your way of seeing what happened and not necessarily the truth
Mm.
of the actual moment. Isn't that crazy?
It's wild. It's I mean, you don't have to. It's not a belief. It's just something to put a label on what we all do naturally. I don't know when we start developing that. At some point, we had to go, in our head thinking or thought or whatever, and we listen and hear to it as if it was always there in the first place, never thinking that
Right.
we can really hear ourselves without physically doing it's
Yeah, no.
it's really hard to like try and describe.
You know what's funny is that I've never read the Four Agreements. Yeah.
Do you read it all?
I do. I read, but
Joe likes to read fiction mostly, but
I like-
yeah, mostly
love
comic
fiction.
books and
But he
child
definitely
reads.
10-year-old
He
stuff.
definitely
No,
reads.
but
I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
I read, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about me, like, because I read The Alchemist too.
good.
Paulo Coelho.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good book.
Joe's
I
like,
thought it was
eh.
fucking whatever.
You
I took nothing away from The Alchemist, but the story of the dude and the fucking king and
Well, you might already know that stuff. You might already have it.
It did nothing
experienced.
for me. In no like message or anything. It did nothing for me but me reading a story. And this is because, and the only reason I read this is because this girl told me to read it.
Right.
She was like, "Yo," well, she didn't say "yo." But she said,
Like,
she was
yo,
like,
what's up, Joe?
she said,
What's his
"No,
name?"
You should really read it. It's
Yeah.
changed my life. I read it at least once a month or once every other month."
And you were like,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this must be a book.
Yeah.
So I got it, read it, and I was like,
Yeah, same thing for The Secret. The Secret didn't really get me that much.
Secret didn't do shit for me.
Yeah.
I read maybe
I understood
a
it.
quarter of
I
it,
got
and I
it.
was like,
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, maybe the same thing for you is the same thing for me. We've already known, heard, or experienced what they're talking about long before or just before we read it. So it's like,
But
we
see,
already
that's
know
the,
this.
that's the thing. That's the thing about, like, say for example, like for example, The Alchemist. People take away like so much shit from it, and they interpret so much stuff and get so many things out of it. And to me, it was like a regular ass story.
Mm.
Like it was. I've seen better movies. Like
That's what I think it is.
there was absolutely no message that I could draw from it at all. But me just reading a book.
And I think that's the difference.
Like, it's a
That's what I
regular-ass
think is the
book.
difference.
Because
is-
he's the shit.
is that the reason why you're more attracted to the things of fiction as opposed to nonfiction? I think has a lot more to do with like you want to be the one that does the work of finding what the message is instead of just hearing a long ass message and like you're like, okay, like, but where, because you like to be a part of the discovery process of like you having to sift through what is the moral of this story, what is the arc of the character, and like you want to undergo that transformation and like and pull it out like myths. You want the old classic myths, the hero's journey, more than the step by step. You're like step by step fucking process. You're like, yeah, okay, I can apply that nowhere
Mm.
because it's like, how can you really say that this is going to work for the situation that I may be facing?
Right.
Right. So I think that fiction for you serves the same purpose, and you've read so many myths. You guys have seen so many. I mean, Star Wars, fucking anything Marvel, anything DC. Like a lot of the same principles and ideas are placed there under the guise of heroes and villains and enemies. And like, as you know, in any book, every character represents a certain part of a personality and the opposing forces. And like, these are all things that are far more entertaining and give you just an easier way for you, like the way you like to digest information, as opposed to textbook style where it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I've read a shit ton of books.
Because you're
but-
right, The Alchemist is like it's pretty out there,
Basic.
like blatantly telling you like, oh, it's like the story is a second focus as opposed to what it's actually trying to tell you, right?
Yo,
And that's the problem.
not even that. For me, all I read was a story. Like I didn't take anything away from it.
There was nothing.
What did give
Absolutely
you
nothing.
What did give you? Was there any book that
okay,
did give you some insight?
let's take a specific example from The Alchemist,
oh,
right? When he,
whoa, on the fence over here.
No, no,
Philly.
no, 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 no,
That's
no,
fine. This is fine. This
no,
works.
just because
Okay.
he's saying there was literally nothing there.
Fuck
right?
my question. All
No,
right,
go ahead. Wait. What was your question before we
I'm
go there?
fucking with you, Philly. Go.
What was the
go,
question?
go, go.
Have you read The Alchemist?
I know of it.
That explains a lot.
All right, then let me hear his fucking question.
All right.
Why?
Okay.
No, well, no. I want to answer Philly stuff first.
Okay,
I
go
remember
ahead.
my question. I'll ask it
Okay,
after.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
bitches.
Wow.
Cheers, best friends.
That's friends.
JK. So there's this one part where he meets so he was a poor sheep farmer, right? Like sheep herder.
Yeah.
And he was looking for treasure because he was hoping that it would change his life and he
Right.
could do more for his family or loved ones, whatever.
Right.
So he embarks on this great journey.
Yeah.
And along the journey in this new town where he sees all these things, he's like, I've got to make money. And he keeps following this instinct that tells him, talk to people. And the people tell him, you should go see this guy. And this guy gives him 2 stones, right? The stones will only tell him yes or no, but they can't tell him anything else.
Right.
So it's more like an intuit go or don't go, right? And so he gets the stones, and which is metaphor for like once you find this level of awareness, you're only allowed to ask yes or no, but that's it. And it's not a permission thing. It's more like this is good for me, this is bad for me thing, right? So symbolically, these stones he now uses for decisions throughout the rest of his journey on his way to find the treasure, right? And so, I mean, it's one big metaphor for turning your thoughts, which are either positive or negative, into things that are going to help you or not. And being able to, it's the same thing about following the voice inside. So my question is, did you get that from the book
None of it
at all?
I just read a whack ass story.
Damn.
A regular ass story. To me, it was just a story that I could have seen in a B movie.
Right.
Like it really was. Like I didn't.
Like what I just broke down.
I get that all that stuff is what they were trying to portray, but I personally feel like the story could have been better. Like,
right.
To me, I didn't take any. I wasn't at no point during me reading that book did I feel like
mind blown or anything.
This is a message.
Right.
Whoa, message. Like
that's weird.
I was just like,
which is why I was saying that I think that in that book in particular, the story almost seems like it's a design to try to just communicate this information as opposed to it actually being a good story.
Yeah.
But it might be miscommunication in the sense that different people who read it pick up different points.
Of course.
So what I'm going to ask is,
but I'm sorry.
Oh,
but based on that, is it really that, or people just really grasping for straws?
Right.
It's possible.
You know, like,
well, let's see this. This is a great experiment. Joe has his take on what you just said. Here's mine. Let's see if it coincides or is like.
Wait, you've read the book?
No, I'm just saying based on the example you gave and asking him if you got any insight from that topic.
Right.
What I picked up from that was that is the treasure within the person themselves the whole time. And he's always been searching around in a circle, and it's really in him.
That's how the book ends. It's the place that he left.
Now, see,
was exactly the place that
he needed to be. Yeah.
Okay, well that means I picked it up differently because I'm thinking that he is the treasure.
To some extent, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, like you don't need to go anywhere. You already have what you need inside of you.
Oh, okay. So.
And when Joe got there, he was like, "Yeah, all right, you just wasted my fucking time."
But see, how I got there, I just figured it out. But I'm not blown away either.
Right. Well, that's the point, though.
What?
That's the whole point of the book is that there is no big secret and that really everything you have, you already need. And you didn't even need the stones to actually determine whether or not you should trust your intuition on whether this is a yes or a no. The whole point of the book and the whole alchemy thing is to take you on this journey to realize it's like in Kung Fu Panda when he opens the scroll and realizes.
Oh yeah, he was always, which is the take on the alchemist, right?
Exactly.
It's like a perfect steal.
The same thing, except Kung Fu Panda is a way better story.
Well, and
it
kids,
is.
That makes kids understand,
especially because he's like, Paul, I made your favorite.
But
so,
like,
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, Mike. Yeah, the question was,
yeah, go ahead.
Was there any saying or book that actually did get you to go, huh?
Has there ever been any book that's changed your life?
Because if it's a no, then we kind of understand where Joe's at on pretty much anything.
On a book?
Yeah.
With a book?
In any book or saying or statement or anything that you've read or seen that someone else said.
Yeah. Has anything ever changed your life in the media?
Or made you think,
or made
you go like, whoa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or it changed your values and character.
I can tell you right now, Gurren Lagann is one of my all-time favorite anime series, and I've taken more from that anime than I have in any book.
Well, maybe
who the hell do you think I am?
It could be the deliverance of information. Like if The Alchemist was delivered to Joe as an anime, he might have picked up on it as like, "Whoa, what is this?"
No, because it was a whack-ass story.
I don't know.
What about the story of the sword and the stone? Which is a symbol. It's
the same thing.
These are all.
I don't really care for
all
the sword
it is.
What's the sword and stone?
But it's all the same thing.
It's that Disney movie.
The
about
one where he
young
pulls
Arthur,
it out?
Yeah, which is very similar
okay.
to playing Zelda, the video game. Like it's all the same shit, man.
We all steal from each other, right?
To me, Gurren Lagann told me that nothing, including heaven, can stop you from becoming who you want to be and who
Right.
you actually are.
And you think you've never received that information before seeing Gurren Lagann? I'm pretty sure you might have came
He
across
was
I
it.
like,
might have.
he was like, I might have, but let me tell you, Gurren Lagann,
It delivered it in a way where you.
It's like kissing a
that's
butthole.
a spicy meatball.
Okay.
Mwah,
Okay.
Chef Boyardee good. Mwah.
For me, it would be the allegory of the cave.
By Plato.
By Plato.
Which is usually where people get it from.
Because I see the allegory of the cave in other people
Right.
like mad crazy. So maybe for me, I can actually take it and relate it to what I see in the world, where I'm actually witnessing somebody who is totally blocking out everything, even when the facts is right in front of their face. I'm like, holy shit, this person, what, 1,500 years ago, maybe longer, knew that this is how people act or react.
And to this day,
And to this
still
day, I'm
do.
still seeing it.
Where they
that's
look
what-
at the shadows from the glow of the flames and think, oh,
Yeah, or yeah, and that goes for everything to like even global warming,
shit.
racism, all that stuff. And the fact that I'm seeing it today, that's what blows my mind of this information, why it made me change my whole
Mhm.
regiment. Maybe the things like the alchemist, I don't see today, or I don't see a representation.
I think you're right on that. It's about where and how the information is coming, right? So for you, something scholarly like,
Has to be seen and
like
physically,
Plato's
yeah.
allegory and this and that. That's a scholar thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you yourself have ambitions of scholarship. You know what I mean? So that's why when you read it from there, you're like, wow,
Mm.
I can do. You know, for Joe, it's definitely all about teamwork and like Joe's always been about squad. Just look at like how he surrounds himself with friends and this and that. And
LAFC, shout out.
animes
Hey, what
in
up?
particular really are rooted in the idea of friendship because it's a strong Japanese value. And in particular, Asian culture is very social.
Yeah.
You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And so for Joe, I think that's really where the message is able, like, because it's about roles and like who's leader and like knowing or stepping up to become a leader. Like those are stories that I think really resonate,
Mm.
especially when it deals with groups. Because pretty much anything I've ever seen that Joe's put me onto deals with that message a lot. You know, whereas me, I've always been weird and I've always been looking for answers in places that people don't normally go and shit in general.
Mm.
So for me, the lone path is definitely something that I've always followed. Not necessarily to be a scholar,
Right.
but more just like to be a lone fucking like sage or whatever.
You're
you know?
right. I'm always really I'm always the wizard. I always want to get the
Yeah.
intelligence bar always up and
Yeah.
get mad spells and books and all that stuff.
Fucking ancient scrolls.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the fu- yeah. I
God
get it.
Damn, why can't I do that in real life? Fuck.
What do you mean?
Look for ancient scrolls and do magic.
Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda. Dude, well, all science is proven magic. Man.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I love that saying and
Yo,
The
have you seen
Prestige.
Dr. Stone?
Is that
from
is that an
Netflix?
anime?
It's an anime, yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you should watch Dr. Stone.
Netflix or Hulu or it's on Funimation.
It might be on
They're starting
Hulu.
to put a lot of stuff on Funimation.
It might be on
Hulu.
Hulu, yeah, because Funimation has a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Maybe I might have.
It's new. It's probably
Brand
like
new?
on its 12th
Do that.
episode or something like that.
The one I showed you, the strongest person in the world, but is very over protective or something like that long ass title.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. So
I gotta get into
it's
it.
pretty much like One Punch Man and like Fairy Tale mixed a little bit, but it's this guy who is overly powerful, overkill everything,
Right.
but is overly cautious too. So at the
He's afraid that they could take him out at any second.
no, or just like he
doesn't want to fuck anything up.
he wants to be like
because he's so powerful.
he wants to know he can take it out in one hit. So at one point, there's this little creature that's like a level 1 creature, and he uses like a level 100 power on it, and just like puts a whole crater in the earth.
Disintegrates everything.
It's stupid. It's so stupid, but it's fun.
You should watch Dr. Stone. It's
Dr.
a really
Stone.
good anime.
Okay.
And it's okay. The thing about it is that here's the premise. There's this dude. He's smart as fuck. He's like a fucking genius at a very young age,
Mhm.
right? And what happens is in our modern day world, there's like some event that happens that turns everyone into stone,
Mm.
like alive. So
petrification.
they become
Ha.
petrified. They
Nerd.
become petrified into stone.
Yeah.
Looking for the
And-
soft.
Yeah, and every single person in the world, no one gets saved from it,
Mhm.
and even some animals as well.
Except this one dude.
No, he gets petrified as well. So he gets petrified, 3,000 years pass, and he's able to come out of it. He frees himself from the petrification, and then he starts.
And nobody aged, nothing. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he stays young. He was petrified,
Right.
so he didn't age at
Frozen
all.
in time. Yeah.
But throughout these 3,000 years, his mind continued. So he figured
Transcended or something.
he figured if he stopped thinking, then he would become dead. So he continued to think. He would count every single second until he freed himself. And it was like a mix of ingredients like bat guano and a bunch of different things that naturally dripped onto him that allowed him to free himself. Okay, so he got loose. 3,000 years later,
Uh-huh.
the world is savage.
Mhm.
Like, animals run rampant in Tokyo, and there's plant life everywhere. Like, there's no semblance of an old city.
Right.
Gone. It's gone. It's been 3,000 years. So then he starts trying to figure out a way to start freeing people from their petrification.
Right.
He makes it happen. His best friend is the one he finds his best friend and frees his best friend.
Mm.
And then together they start trying to free more people. And then and basically he's just trying to restart society
Okay.
with science.
Mm.
So there's a lot of science in the show and how to do things and how you make how you can make antibiotics and how you can do this.
That's cool.
Like it's
Almost
a
like
fucking
Sherlock
great.
Holmes.
It's
Yeah.
a dope ass show. Yeah, because this
American
dude's
cartoons don't do shit like that.
yeah, no, this dude's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
And he's using all of his knowledge to revitalize society, to bring it back.
It's interesting.
So he's trying to free people from their petrification,
Mm.
which he finds the formula. So he starts slowly doing it with certain people, but then he releases somebody that he knew that it was going to be a risk releasing this person.
Oh,
And
messing with it. Yeah.
sure enough, this person ended up not being the best person to release,
Yeah.
but they needed him at that very second.
Wow.
Damn.
So
and you notice the strong social overtones, like first the best friend and then freeing other people.
yeah.
That's a common theme, man.
Yeah.
In
So
particular.
Damn.
you guys should check out
Dr.
that show.
Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Stone.
It's called Dr. Stone.
What
It's a
would you
really
do
good show.
3,000 years if you were frozen?
I just try to live.
Yeah.
By any means necessary.
Do you think it would still be
I
here?
would search to see if I could find any other humans still living.
See,
Oh no, I don't mean petrification. I meant like you alone were just petrified. You come back out 3,000 years.
Again,
What
I
would you- what would
I
you
would
do if
try
you
to
were
find other
frozen?
people first.
Yeah.
What if the world was still fine? It was just you. That's what he's asking.
Or what if nobody was even here? What?
Oh.
Who knows what would happen 3,000
Well,
years
those are
from
two
now?
different questions, right?
I guess so. Shit.
again-
let's just stick it to one.
Well, again, I would try to find society if there
Mhm.
is one
Right.
still in existence.
Mhm.
If not, then I'd
Shit
then I have to
yourself.
find a woman and procreate.
well,
or get
obviously,
off the planet. Who knows where we
obviously
are?
you want to try to find
Something.
like individuals.
Mhm.
You
Right.
you absolutely want to do that because
So here's an interesting question.
internally
You need like a human.
you
human
want
have to.
you
Yeah.
need to find somebody, like, even if it's to procreate and continue the human life. You absolutely want to
Right.
find
Unless it comes to that. I mean, we could have just all left the planet, and you just need to find another capsule.
right.
You have. I mean, like 3,000 years. I mean, what if 3,000 years we're just the same as now? Just with VR, and that's it.
With humans,
Like, what the
it's very
fuck?
possible. So here's
Yeah.
a question, right? It's a
You got a
philosophical
hickey on your
hypothetical.
chest, by the way.
No, my skin does that sometimes.
Oh.
He scratches himself.
Oh,
He's
so
light skinned. He's
he-
just white. It's in his white nature.
that's right.
Here's some hypothetical
Yeah.
question, right? If you're in your apartment building or home, whatever, and it catches flames and everything that you have, you survive. Right?
Oh.
But everything that you have has been
My
destroyed.
PlayStation's gone.
What is your first question of these three? Where am I gonna go now? Or who? Let me call my loved one, my significant other, right? Or I wonder if my neighbors are okay.
We have to change it up because I have a couple houses on the family accessibility. So
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. So let's just pretend that was the only house you had.
okay, yeah,
Okay, right?
okay.
So which of the three are you gonna ask? Or which of the three are your immediate next moves? Is it asking where am I gonna go now?
Mhm.
Is it let me call my significant other? Or is it did my neighbors get out okay?
I do it easily in one fell swoop. get money from ATM, get a hotel, call people from the hotel. And then-
Less about the actual solution,
Oh.
and which is the first thought that comes to mind. Is it let me call somebody I care about or my significant other, or asking the question like, shit, okay, where am I going to go now? Or is it, I wonder if the neighbors got out too?
Why would the neighbor's
like-
house on fire?
Yeah, the whole building caught fire.
Oh, this is like an apartment building.
Yeah. So what would your
Oh.
actual first next step be? And next thought.
Well, I'd absolutely want to make sure that anybody who lives with me is out. for
right,
sure.
right. So right.
My
Especially kids and
yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to check that first.
So if all of them didn't live with you and it was just you there, like let's just say that was your place where you were staying
Okay.
for that time, and the whole fucking building caught flames, and there was people in there, would you first wonder like, shit, well, and like, where am I gonna go
Mm-hmm.
next? Should I call my loved one, or my significant other, or like just loved one in general? Or hey, I wonder if everybody in the building got out okay.
I know for sure the first thing I do is call my family and then call you guys.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably say the same thing. I'd want to call someone I care about and say,
Right.
"Yo,
That
this
I'm
is what's
okay.
happening.
Yes,
This is
yes.
what's happening right now."
Yeah.
Just so you guys know. Then my second step would probably be like, "Yo, is anybody else in there?
Right.
Yes.
Go find them."
Yeah.
And then probably the last thing I think about is where I'm gonna stay.
Right.
Like, that's like
And
Right.
you know what's crazy is, for me, the first thing I would think is like, shit, where am I gonna go now? Like, because on my own, I would impose it upon myself to be like, okay, like I try not to consider those alternatives as a thing I can do.
That's good. And that we've definitely tried to not talk down on you, but try and get you to realize that your
It's interesting though, isn't it?
your inventory is full.
Right. But I see them like if we're talking video games,
Yeah.
like, all that shit,
inventory is
Yeah.
full.
Like you don't your house can burn down, but you have a bank full of your
I know.
inventory, and that's us.
And if you watch
Yeah.
my RPGs and the way I play, it's all the same thing. I rarely use summons.
You don't
Right?
what? You don't you do
I, u-
hoard?
I usually don't even rely on a lot of the other party members.
Ugh, you're playing it wrong.
I generally speaking am focused fully on the main character
Yeah.
and how I can make sure that if all else fails, at least this one will not fail.
Because I know for sure if that actually happened and you didn't call Joe or me, we'd have been like upset. Like, dude, you have a place to stay.
Right. And this is tied back to
Yeah.
a thing called the Enneagram test or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
And it's not just about the 9 types. This is in particular the what's called the instinctual
I gotta
method.
tell you about that test.
Well,
It's
sure.
the one
Wait,
you
that's the one we
posted
took?
earlier this week, right?
No, that
Oh,
was just a
oh.
creative
Because
one.
we got the same thing.
Oh yeah, we
Hey.
did. And I don't think we're
No,
the same.
like the visionary or the dreamer. Or the this or
Yeah,
that. No,
visionary.
that's different. That's different.
I think that was like a faux test. It was
No,
like,
and that was more about like what your creative style is. That wasn't about your personality. It was
Creative
about-
style.
Yeah, your creative style. Like when you get creative, how do you usually run things?
I don't
And
know.
like, for example, okay,
It-
just
it-
to put a point on the shit that you guys just brought up. If you guys both got the visionary,
Yeah, we
it
did.
generally means that you tend to like create a visual about what you're going to do before you get creative.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
Yeah, I definitely
I
do.
just do.
Yeah.
I do.
This was I thought was not spot on, but it was close to me.
it was designed by Adobe. Whatever. I'm talking about the type.
He's like, fuck that test anyway.
Remember,
the
you're the
ENFJ.
type 3. No,
Yeah,
no,
right,
this
right,
is-
right.
yeah,
Enneagram,
and-
yeah.
I'm type 5 or 7, one of those
right,
two.
right. Which
Yeah,
is, and type 5 tends to be the logical one,
yeah. Yep.
which would make
Yep.
sense, right? And so we're both type 3s, but different types of type 3s. See, since your first response was let me call somebody, let me call a loved one or whatever, that can be either the sexual type, which does better on one-on-one, but because I know you do better, you don't just do better on one-on-one, you have to be the social type. So you care about your group first. So whereas I'm the self-preservation.
Even if they had nothing to do with
Right.
my
Generally
crib burning,
speaking-
like, yo, everybody.
generally speaking, you're always concerned about the group overall. You see what I'm saying? Whereas me, I'm the self-preservation type 3, where my first instinct is to make sure that no matter what, I can take care of everything on my own, no matter what. Like generally speaking, that's what I strive for.
Mm.
Right. Okay, I'm with you.
And then you very similar aspect. You do well socially too, and I already know you'd be a type 5 social whatever.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But it was just a fascinating situation to put yourself under and to wonder what the first things are that you would do. Because it says a lot about where you're at, how you grew up, how you developed, things like that,
Mm.
Right.
you know? Like, yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, you grew up with siblings, and you actually grew up with your siblings,
Well, Philip's a different story.
right? Well, and your family, but like you always had, to some degree, there was a family unit that you knew at some point you could reach out to some degree, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and they definitely make sure that I know that too. Like they don't. If I stayed silent at some point, my grandfather will call me up and say, "Hey, this house is yours." When I go, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about when you go.
Right, right.
But it's
right.
like just to know. It's like, all right.
And it's funny because Joe does it all the time. He always tells me like, and for some reason I'm still the fucking guy where like I don't want to place that as an option unless I absolutely have to.
Well,
Right.
Joe's for the longest time would be angry at me leaving his house
Sure.
after playing video games like 2 a.m. and drinking all that stuff, and like just stay your ass here,
Well,
which is
because
funny.
it's safer.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't get that as much. Well, I guess I never got put in that scenario, but from other family members, so to speak, that we will not name on the podcast. But
Voldemort.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, Joe definitely was, in the sense of like,
Well, that's because you're my
humbleness.
best friend and I love you.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, Keenan.
In the
What?
promo we
I
made
love you.
today, I asked people if they wanted to submit
Keenan.
questions
Yes.
on-
I love you.
I love cake
you fucking asshole.
I love lamb.
What was that, Filthy?
from New
we,
Girl.
We made a promo earlier
and I called you bitches.
where I suggested if people wanted to bitch, we put pushing the mic towards my face.
Pushing the
I guess nobody said. Did anybody see it? I think
I don't know.
All
Oh,
kinds of people saw
dude.
it and nobody wrote anything.
I
dude.
need to show you proof. I can't believe this. I'm glad I get to say it on the podcast. I have close to 1,500 views on my Murphy
Wait, is
bed
this your soapbox?
that I put up. No, it's not. Man, I'm a walking soapbox. But I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. And I was like, this is, I know 1,500 is
but
pennies, but
for you who usually isn't even on
I
social
got
media,
no
right?
service. God damn it. Yeah.
For you who isn't usually on social media in general.
Not anymore. I'm jumping back on. I got you. I got a business to run. I
But
got
like
friends.
it's disproportionate to all the other things.
Yeah, it
posted,
is. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because his Murphy bed, because he designed his Murphy bed.
Joe saw it. He knows.
Joe's like-
he's one of the views
Joe's got a mood right now. What do you
because
saying?
he has
Joe?
like millions of views. I know 1,500 ain't shit.
No, that's not it. What is it, Joe?
Can I say something?
What?
Open and honestly.
Am I
Yeah,
too
yeah.
excited
My
about
brothers.
it?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god! Here he goes. I don't
Y'all
know.
motherfuckers got to stop reposting me and start posting your own shit. You fucks.
Here
It's
it comes.
just that
Wait,
much easier
Joe-
for you
Joe-
to
Joe's
just
like-
repost me, isn't it?
Joe's like, so I'm gonna be the one carrying the group. Is that what this is gonna be?
I thought we agreed that I
All
could
right,
just
all right,
repost.
all right,
it.
let's air it out on the podcast, so all our listeners
And
know.
this is not my soapbox.
No. It's finally happened.
Yeah.
Joe wants some credit too.
No, it's not. It's not.
So it is true. Joe has lately been making the most social media.
All of the stories are Joe, yes. But I could have swore we had an agreement that if we can easily just repost somebody's posting. So I was like, I'll do
I've been
that.
considering for a while now that I would just focus on using the None of Our Business podcast Instagram instead.
Mhm.
Mostly because like whenever I jump on my own shit, other than the self-validation from posting a selfie
Right.
or sharing the actual podcast thing, I'm not really as active as I used to be trying to create a personal brand where I'm like, I philosophize and everyone should
Right.
follow me for
I
wisdom.
don't know. You post quite a bit on your own page, on your story.
I'll just share other people's content that I find interesting. So I'm thinking if I'm gonna do anything at all, it should be podcast related. So I'll start. I was already on the verge of moving forward
Yeah.
because it's true. Lately, it's not like
I've been very lazy.
Yeah.
Damn it. I need to apologize to the last 3 guests. I haven't been posting any other stuff.
I do create the post
Yeah.
though
Dick.
on my thing, but yeah. Here's the thing though. If
What
you notice,
happened
if you
was-
notice, Joe is actively involved, not just in
You are.
in a
You're a
bigger
social media
community,
butterfly.
but you're also like talking with other people and their podcasts. And
I
all
talk
that.
yeah.
to other people in
You
other
engage.
podcasts. I
You
really
engage.
do.
Yeah.
Everything I had ever said, you actually do.
I
Ooh.
do. Absolutely.
Speaking
You
of
guys told me to
engaging,
do
we
it.
got 2 new people added. I had them download Spotify stuff.
You know what I noticed for Mark's episode last week?
Yeah.
Uh,
I got
an equal amount of iPhone and Spotify streamers
Mm.
hit it up.
Apple streamers or whatever.
Yeah.
I some of it, well, not related to that, but maybe associated. I tell
Mhm.
people Spotify. I keep forgetting to tell people it's on iTunes.
No,
too.
but that's what caught me off guard. That
yeah,
it was an equal number, and that doesn't usually happen. Usually, it'll be one streaming service over all the other ones.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think for last week it was an equal amount of iPhone and Spotify users. That
So until
that
it
actually
happens
tuned
again,
in.
it's an anomaly. But
Yeah,
in the data. But yeah,
yeah.
that is
And
interesting.
I do have a Halloween post for our what do you call it? What do you call those clips I do? Remember the one with the OJ and stuff? And I'll just post these
Our
random
bumps.
bumps. Finally I made a new bump for the month of October.
Hey,
So I'll put that out.
I'm glad.
I think I've drank so much coffee today
Yeah.
and only had breakfast. I'm feeling weird.
Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
Is that a bad thing to do? Sometimes I really because like
Maybe he needs one of these.
I'll have a couple of days where I eat like I'm trying to eat better, guys.
that's good.
Trying
That's
to eat
good.
better, guys.
We should. You should.
You
We
know
all
what?
should.
I've started to feel a little full lately.
Mm.
Like like
Is that why you're not eating my lemon cake?
like I might have gained a little bit of weight, so I'm starting to feel like I don't know how to explain it. Like I feel full even if I don't eat a lot. Like
Mm.
so
You're like
I think
surviving off the fat storage.
exactly legit.
Legit.
So
Yeah.
I gotta I gotta get back on my just
Mm.
catering. Or
You can taste it, just
Yeah.
like a little
Right.
lick. Can you lick the top?
yeah,
and I'll eat the
lick
rest.
top.
Wait, no, I don't. I'm a
Just the tip?
germaphobe. I don't want to do that.
I'll
It's
I'll
nasty.
I'll take a little
Little
nibble.
nibble?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I just don't want it right now because I'm on
Because
here.
you
right now.
remember
Oh,
the day?
fuck
Do you remember
you.
the days where you could do like a couple of sit-ups, it's a couple of push-ups, and like you
You have
could be like,
six-pack
hey,
abs.
hey, like it's showing, but it doesn't happen anymore.
Well, we
does
got to
it?
work because
See,
you hit
and
30.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. Like, once I decide if I really want to do something, and I decide on it.
Mm.
Like, my transformation is pretty fast.
Right.
Mm.
Like last year, I decided, I want to lose some weight, and I lost fucking 20 pounds like
Yeah.
in no time.
Yeah.
But then I was like, fuck, I want to eat. So then I started eating, and I drank beer again. Like I was drinking beer in a good
Beer
amount.
is
Liquor
really
doesn't
bad.
really do shit.
Beer
There's sugar
is
in
really
this.
bad for
Yeah, but it
the
doesn't-
the Latino genetic, especially
really
in particular the
is.
Mexican genetic.
Like I gotta.
It's
Well,
really
that doesn't
bad.
count for you now, Philly, does it?
I know because you're a white man.
Yeah, but the type of white person I
It's Northern European, nowhere near Spain.
am, yeah, that's true.
We got to
Um,
take Philly to Europe.
But again, I do have just enough Mexican genetics that it does carry weight, which is I'm glad I don't drink at all because I eat a shitload of pasta and pizza. Like that's
The
like
carbs,
my primary
yeah.
staple.
You gotta-
carbs,
yeah,
and carbs and carbs
yeah.
and carbs and carbs.
Like I
Yeah.
eat a shitload of that. So
You got to
Yeah, I gotta
tone
chill,
down on
man.
those carbies.
See, and shout out to the food dudes. I've been doing this food dude thing.
It's food, dude.
The food dudes is a bunch of the dudes from TSG.
Mm?
mhm.
We like to eat, and we like solid
Eat.
food, like
Okay,
really
yeah.
good food.
Like Korean barbecue.
Not just
Yeah.
Korean barbecue, but like just food in general. You
Mhm.
know,
You guys are
Like,
foodies
I like
and you
to
go
eat
together
really
to go,
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
So you
so-
need to start a TV show.
so
That
we-
sounds legit. Food
yeah,
dudes?
we
That's
have
content
we have
waiting to happen.
It is.
Well, we have an IG.
Show's gonna start a new.
No,
like,
you know
look
what,
at-
guys?
look
No,
at
no, no,
this,
no, no, no.
Look at
Actually,
this.
I'm gonna save it. Let me save
Dude,
it for my soapbox.
food
I'll save it
dudes.
for my
Oh,
soapbox.
really?
Yeah, I'll save it for my soapbox.
Joe's starting a new brand, so be on the lookout. for
We need a
the-
new host if anybody wants to join. Sean, and you're out there.
That's true. That's true. Or you know what? Maybe I'll just take the
Shut up.
podcast solo. You know
What? You're just gonna kick me out? Just like what the fuck?
She's like, well, maybe I'll start my own
Yeah.
podcast too.
Be the shit.
No, we're not doing any of that shit. You know,
Nah,
like,
obviously,
To the podcast.
teasing
To the podcast.
teasing.
Yes.
Hey guys, for real, like
It's fun.
We're
I
closing
love
in
it.
on the end of
We're
season
so
2.
close.
we're closing
Ooh,
in on the end of
shit.
season 2.
We got
Wow.
2 more
Like,
episodes.
Yeah.
I'm really
Some wild
like
shit.
I'm really thinking about like what the fuck we've done,
Yeah.
and we've done something that like
Consistency.
people actually expect.
Mm-hmm.
Now people really are waiting for Mondays to listen to our shit.
I'm grateful that
like,
I have a handful of people who say,
You know,
looking forward to
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I have people hitting me up like, "Yo, I gotta
That show
tell
was
you,
funny.
like,
that was
your
dope.
show is dope.
I'm gonna
man.
show it to these people.
I listen
yeah.
to it at work, or
Yeah.
I listen to it on my drive. Like, I have one of my best clients, absolutely my favorite person,
Mm.
like in general. We were in San Francisco this week,
Mm.
and we're driving around, just hanging out, like really getting to know my client better,
Mm.
and we're driving around, and I'm telling him about my life a little bit. He's telling me about his. And I dropped the podcast bomb. I'm like, yo, yeah, I have a podcast. We do this, this, and that. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, okay. He's like, what's it called? And I'm telling him, and he's just like, okay, listening. And I'm driving, and then he like pulls it up on his phone. He's like, hey, is this it? I'm like, yeah, that's it. He's like, boom, I'm saving that. I'm gonna start listening to that. And I'm like, all right, just so you know, this is a rated R podcast. And, you're my client, and I have a lot of love for you. But just know, this is me, okay? But see, I don't act differently.
Right.
I don't act differently
Not
with my
so
clients.
much. Yeah.
Like I'm pretty much this person. The person I am is
With
pretty
some
much the
with
person
some
I am.
professionalism involved.
Of course.
Yeah.
But all my clients who know me
It's rare to
know
say
who I
that
am.
penis jokes are professional, but
But
to some,
I know who my clients are and
Right.
who I really get along with.
Mhm.
So I know who I can be my genuine self with.
Yeah.
And this client of
Is
mine,
one of those
he's one of
people,
those
yeah.
people who's like, I've been working with him for like 7 years. Like we've been doing business together.
been
it was time you go
Accurate
steady.
staging for 7 years.
I've been at Accurate for like 8 years.
God dang.
Yeah. But yeah, so I told him, he's like, yo, I never knew
So
this about
commitment isn't a problem for him.
He's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
telling him about it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this, man. I'm gonna
Okay.
listen to-" So it was special because now I feel like and it's not now, but I've felt like this podcast was something special.
Yeah.
And the fact that people who are really close to me are taking to it and saying like, because the people who are supposed to support you the most are your friends and family.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time,
Yeah.
like friends and family are the first one to be like, hey, so you got me, right? You got me on the guest list, right? And so for the fact that certain friends and family really, really take to this project that we have, and
Mhm.
We're
and
lucky.
it's
yeah.
like even today, like we had the rally for LAFC because we're starting the playoffs.
Somebody recognized your voice?
No,
Oh,
but
that'd be cool.
but
That's all Keenan wants.
I know.
yeah, no, but I had my cousin on my mom's side, Brian.
Yeah.
I think you've met him.
Yeah, I met him
before,
once or
Bri-
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, so Brian, he comes up to me today. He didn't like. Well, I saw him first, and he's like, and it wasn't until later when we're in the rally in the middle of everything, and he's like, hey man, I listened to last week's episode, and damn,
Yeah.
he's like, that was probably my favorite episode of all time, and I'm like, oh shit,
That means he
thanks.
listened to other ones
No,
too.
but he
Yeah.
does. He
yeah.
absolutely listens to it.
Yeah. Nice.
So the
And
fact
we're not
that
a short podcast.
No,
Like,
we're-
no,
it's
when
an
we tell
investment.
people, they're like, wow.
exactly.
But we did get some converters too, as I saw you in a text. Somebody who wasn't into it before re-listened to it and was like, this is funny shit. And I'm going to show it to all my coworkers.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
So-
cool.
So that's what's really.
I
Or-
mean, I really would recommend to people who are introducing the podcast to anybody else, if you do, is like introduce it backwards, right? Like don't push people to the
Oh,
first
to the first
no,
episode.
absolutely.
It
not.
is a
Like, if-
drastic
if
difference.
people want to
Yeah,
go
absolutely.
there, they can do it on their
It's
own.
still good to hear you.
But it's any podcast worth its salt can be played
because we're not,
backwards.
what do you call it? Congruitable. Wow. I need to stop. What?
We don't have a continuity.
Yes.
Yeah.
The continuity.
Every
of our
episode is
podcast.
different. We
We're
don't-
like
Yeah.
the Simpsons.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I explained to my client as well. That's what I explained to my client as well. I was like, if you want to start in the beginning, that's cool,
Mhm.
but just know that we're 10 times better and 10 times more
Yeah.
different
Mhm.
than when we started.
Right.
So don't necessarily feel like you have to start from the beginning because there's no continuity. We're not saying things in the first episodes that you're not going to understand
Right.
in the
Don't
new
bring it back.
episodes. Like
Nope.
we just do every episode as a
It
standalone.
makes me
Mhm.
episode.
realize
Pretty
I
much,
haven't
yeah.
even really brought some people onto the pod that I want to, man. So
Why not? Bring
know,
them
yeah.
on.
Like,
Call them.
I owe Matrix a visit to this podcast. As a
Oh,
producer,
yeah.
like we need
Joe
to bring
knows
him
him.
on. Yeah.
I don't think I do.
You,
I don't think
you haven't really met. Yeah,
I don't
no.
think I've ever really like met.
Oh, that's because Joe doesn't
said
come to
it.
any of our shows when we invited him to them out.
No,
So
No, but I've been wanting to get him on for a while now, and I think it's time, man. Yeah. So we'll do that, man.
Yo, I was what was gonna be my talk on?
Oh, so you were gonna share the so we can go into the
no, wait,
soapbox
but he has to
now.
remember. We have to have him remember. He was gonna do
Yeah, you were gonna talk about the thing, the food dudes.
Food
Oh
dudes.
yeah. Sorry.
So
Okay,
let's
go ahead.
just move into the soapbox.
Are we gonna move into the
Yeah, yeah,
soapbox?
we're about there, man. So
Are we close?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
basically the tip is in. So
Hit us with.
So as you guys know, this is the segment.
Hey, oh, this helps because when I do the edits of the soapbox, I know when to actually do them.
So I'll go ahead and give a.
No. This meant like you would do the announcement, or Joe would do. Apparently, Joe actually does the announcement for him, where he says, "So this is the soapbox. We're about to head into our soapbox."
Well, then you fucking just did it, you fucking asshole.
I did it as an example.
All right.
God dang it!
All right, people, ladies and gentlemen. So if this is your first time following us, listening to us, this is our segment. We call it the Soapbox Talks. This in this segment, we actually let each individual speak on what they want to speak on, whether it's a promotion, whether they're venting, whether they want to push anything or talk about something that they just newly learned. This is their moment to be uninterrupted and just have the floor. And as tradition, if we don't have a guest, we'll start it off with Keenan, then head over to Keenan, then head over to Philip,
to Keenan again,
head over to Philly, and then I'll close it out. So Keenan, give us your soapbox.
Life. Here it goes. I've had a few soapbox where I was happy, but this one, per usual, I run into people as I drive in Los Angeles. God damn it. I don't fucking stand anybody and everything behind people. I don't know. I guess people, when you put them in a car, something happens. Something I'm hitting the table now. I don't fucking get it. But sure enough, I run it. There's this weird situation where somehow when people make left turns, there's this huge ass gap before the first car goes. I don't understand what that is. The light's green, there's an arrow. And then for some reason, when that first car goes, either the second car, third car behind will have a huge ass gap in front of them. And it's like, we're all supposed to go. I don't understand why you just, I don't know. It's fucking weird. And then I see bicyclists, and I was hoping to make this an actual discussion, but I don't know why bicyclists don't obey the rules of the road. They don't stop at stop signs. They don't stop at street lights. I don't know if they're supposed to, but fuck you if you ride a bike and you don't obey the rules of the road. You know, sharing is caring. And the real soapbox is I want to get out more. I've been at a couple parties recently that I've been invited to, and I just said yes. So I'm starting to say yes for myself more often, and being invited to all these shenanigans and get-togethers have gotten me going across LA a lot, which sucks. But I want to experience it. So even though I'm traveling unnecessarily, I still want to enjoy the experience. So even today, I was over in Woodland Hills, and I drove out to Long Beach, and I drove from Long Beach out to Pasadena. So it was a lot of traveling, but I wanted to see a lot of people, and it was a lot of food and going out and having fun. I get to meet people, and I miss it. I just miss it. Also, part of me feels like I shouldn't be doing that because I'm older and I need to have, steady income to go out and go party. But I don't know. I really feel like I want to not doing that as much as I used to when I was working, and I stopped purposely because I'm not working. But when I get invited out, I kind of easily go to a yes. I just feel like I have to, because if I'm not going out and having some interaction with the outside world, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. Not just FOMO, but on myself. I'm missing being Keenan. I'm not being Keenan if I'm not doing that for some reason. So to going out and doing stuff in Los Angeles, like I said before, go out, have fun, do things, be active, be something. I hit the table again. Sorry, Philly. But get out there and just, go. Also, Paul Rudd's Hot Ones was pretty cool. I liked it. He was good. I'm glad he was on there.
Wow.
And Shia LaBeouf has a really good voice now that he's older. I was like, what the fuck? This ain't Shia LaBeouf. But he was on Hot Ones too, and that was awesome.
He's now buff.
He's something.
Shia Buff.
He's something different, but it's cool. So that's my soapbox.
All right. Well, I had no idea what my soapbox was going to be until I heard yours, and now I have an idea for it.
Oh yeah,
Hey.
that's new.
There's a this will be my soapbox for today, and I think it speaks to the heart of maybe what a lot. It's very universal, and it speaks to a lot of what people may be going through at any point in time when they're trying to decide their life purpose and things like that.
Mm.
So it's a pretty universal thing. There's a poet by the name of Rilke, actually, is how I've heard it actually pronounced. Rikle, Rilke, right? And this famous writer poet uh, eventually published a book called Letters to a Young Poet. And what happened was it was basically a documentation of a young writer who consistently reached out to Rilke for advice on writing.
Mm.
And this is like a series of like 14 chapters of just like the process. But suffice it to say that at the end of it all, uh, Rilke said, "You keep asking me questions." And I'm paraphrasing terribly here, but the general idea is you keep asking me questions about how to be a good writer. Should it be done this way? Should it be done that way? And at the end of the day, what I really have to say to you is this is if you can think of doing anything else, do that. Because I don't write because I want to be a good writer. I write because if I don't write, I'll go insane. I need to do it. And all great art, like anything else, any great human quality, those are all things that are a need to be expressed. Therefore, if you need to be a writer, it shouldn't matter to you whether you become a good one or a bad one. It's all about the fact that you need to do something. And I'm sure you can find where this ties back to your own soapbox, which isn't really what we do. But when you said something to along the lines of, if I don't go out and talk to people and interact and exchange ideas and energies, I almost feel like I'm not being who I'm meant to be. Like that's a big signal, and those are the signals that we got to look for in our lives for the things that we do. You know, it's something that you should pay attention to, and so that's my soapbox for today.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like when I be having that bop, 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 bop.
From a distance. It's
How
so tiny.
sad.
It just like beep, 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 beep.
How sad. There's no more moaning.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
but-
I don't want to fill you in on all that.
Hey.
A gentleman doesn't tell.
A gentleman.
All right. Well, I'll head into my soapbox. There are three things that I'd like to speak about. The first is it's gonna be the Carson team versus LAFC for the playoffs. This has just happened. So Carson will be seeing us in our home for the playoffs on Thursday night. Sorry.
He did it again.
Sorry. So I was banging on the table. But so yeah, it's gonna be Carson versus LAFC. If you guys don't know who the Carson team, look it up. Since 1996. So the Carson team versus LAFC at the Bank of California on Thursday for the playoffs. Yeah, recognize motherfuckers. Anyway, second, shout out to the FCFC pod. They have incorporated something similar to our soapbox for their podcast.
Fuckers.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
stole our shit.
Yeah, so super honored.
But that's nice. You're pleased. I love you.
So
Big
yeah,
compliment, big
glad you
compliment.
guys. Yeah, super big compliment. They've decided to incorporate something similar to our soapbox to their podcast.
Nice.
So now they have a closer, which is super dope. Everybody knows, and next season we are going to have them on. This coming season we'll have them on our pod.
FC.
We'll bring them out over here.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Okay.
We're going to be
Okay.
having them on. We'll send them dates. But shout out to them for showing us love and being like, hey, da, 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 da. Bah, bah, bah. If you haven't checked out their new episode, it has TVP. That is something that I'll get into right now. But they do have TVP on their latest episode, so go check that out. It's the FCFC Pod. You can check them out on all streaming. Excuse me. I think on all streaming services, but for sure on Apple, Spotify, and I don't know. Those are the only two I know for sure that they're on. But Apple and Spotify for sure. You can check them on. Check them out on that. Lastly, the food dudes. Uh, I, a couple of the TSG guys that I'm in the group with. We started we started a little food blog situation called the Food Dude Adventures. Excuse me. We started a little blog called the Food Dude Adventures. We post some of our meals, some of our better looking meals, and because I'm a foodie, I like food. I like different types of food, and so I like to take pictures of food. So we started this blog, um, and it's really grown. I think we started just three of us, and since a couple months back now, we've grown to like a 19 people in our blog actively just putting posting pictures
Mm.
and videos of food we love and we've had, sharing our restaurants that we like to visit. And we just started an IG. It's called the Food Dudes Adventures. So where we actually have a place where we're actually posting so everyone else could see, because right now, as of now, it's just a chat that we have and we share shit with each other. So go check out the Food Dudes Adventures. um and shit, I think that's it, guys. Hey.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Okay.
boom, boom,
Rolling with it.
boom,
Uh,
boom,
uh,
boom, boom,
it's real easy to see.
boom, boom,
This ain't that R&B. This ain't really that clean. Nah, it ain't nothing sweet. It's the Noob podcast. Noob podcast. In that ass, cause you know we always do it in this gas grass is your ass. It's that kind of show. It's kind of hard to spit the flow when you ain't anything it all day, but I'm staying out, I'm hustling and I'm wondering if you wanna give us a second where we give you all that energy that you've been missing. It's kind of hard to be recollecting about the way that life has been when we got so many things that we really wanna get into. It's 2 hours long, but that shit is really long and it's strong, and you know when it's on, then it's on. Please stay tuned for the whole thing so you can come and get to the soapbox where we be getting hot topics and hot props, and you know we can't drop only the wisdom and the knowledge that you expect from a good podcast. We gotta get it, and you know that we ain't even getting the cash. We do it for the love, we do it for the people. You know it's us, and each one of us is here to tell you.
Suck your man's dick.
Vote for me for president.
Ayy.